Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Pacer star Tyrese Halliburton told reporters today he still intends to try to play in a must-win in Game 6 of the NBA Finals against the Thunder tomorrow. He confirmed he has a right calf strain. Coach Rick Carlisle says they're preparing for two scenarios, one where Halliburton plays and one where he doesn't. ESPN NBA analyst Monica McNutt.
If that guy tries to go, as I expect him to because he is an elite competitor and he just happens to become the starting point guard for a team in the finals, and looks terrible, you got to pull him. Like, let's get the plan B. Let's get to the game plan that does not include Tyrese Halliburton, and let's proceed. I actually think that the decision being made earlier rather than late probably would benefit the rest of that roster in terms of guys understanding how they need to play.
Monica McNutt on Joe and Q. Game 6 tomorrow, 7:30 Eastern ESPN Radio, 8:30 Eastern ABC. NFL Ravens sign former Packers corner Jair Alexander, 1 year, $4 million. He's been limited to 14 games the last two seasons because of injuries. No WNBA players will face suspensions after a pair of scuffles in last night's Indiana Fever Connecticut Sun game, including one in the final minute that resulted in 3 player ejections.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Thursday, Mike McDaniel or Tua. I'll tell you which Dolphin is facing the most pressure heading into next season. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Woo!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. I'm Matt Moscona. We are in New Orleans today, fired up at Bayou Oaks at City Park here for the Mackel Celebrity Pro-Am Golf Tournament, the full event with our buddies Fletcher and Travers Mackle coming up this weekend. But this is the charity event, raising money for scholarships for kids in need, which is an awesome and worthwhile cause. And we're excited they invited us to be here. Very candidly, they invited me to play in the tournament as I use this term very loosely, as a celebrity, because I have a bad back and LSU's playing baseball today in the College World Series. That declined, but we are doing our show here today to lend support, and I'm thrilled to be here. We got a ton to do. T-Dub, Todd Walker, in 15 minutes. We will talk to Alex Milazzo next hour, of course, catcher on LSU's 2023 National Championship team, and then in hour 3, we'll check in with our buddy Wes Moore up in Little Rock, get a little viewpoint on the Hogs as LSU and Arkansas for the 5th time this year, the 2nd time in the College World Series, will connect. I guess this felt inevitable from the moment we all saw the bracket come out, and you had LSU and Arkansas as the highest remaining national seeds, both on the same side of the bracket. We had the conversation, should they reseed? That's a conversation maybe that they'll continue into the offseason and then just ignore in future years. But LSU and Arkansas was always going to be this, and here it is. The only question was who was going to have to win once and who was going to have to win twice. And the benefit of LSU, of course, is that they need just one win in the next 2 days, which does change the strategy because both Dave Van Horn and Jay Johnson are in very different situations strategically going into tonight's ball game. Arkansas, if you didn't see it, after LSU beat UCLA in the resumption from Monday's game, 9-5, Arkansas came back and beat UCLA 7-3. There was a little controversy. UCLA tried to steal home in the first inning. It was a bang-bang play. It was ruled out. They reviewed, upheld the call. Vaheva Aloy hit a 2-run homer. He had an RBI triple. Arkansas would lead 7-0 before UCLA would scratch across 3 runs in the 9th. And that was significant because Will McIntyre was a very good reliever from Arkansas. Came in to pitch the 9th and ended up needing 33 pitches to get through that 9th inning, which makes him at least a bit compromised in this ballgame. He would certainly still be available, but I don't think they had any intention of having him throw 33 pitches in the 9th inning, but that's what transpired. So we're going to talk a little bit about the pitching here in just a second, but for Arkansas, they got their offense going and put them in a position behind Zach Root to win that game in a must-win scenario, to force now this scenario where they got to win twice in as many days against LSU. The question everyone has asked, I've been getting it since LSU beat UCLA, since Arkansas beat UCLA all morning, everywhere, is who's going to pitch. I just did an interview with our buddy Wes Moore up in Little Rock. He was asking the same thing, and I was asking the same of him. And I think we all have our best guesses as how this is going to go. But here's the difference in the approach. If Arkansas loses today, their season is over. They cannot approach this game in terms of trying to hold or set things up for Thursday, because you don't set things up for Thursday because you might not get to Thursday. You have to win today. Jay Johnson knows that he doesn't have to win today. He's got a game to play with, so he can put himself in a position where wind's supposed to be blowing out today, maybe a bit more offensive day. You treat it like a Sunday in an SEC weekend. Offensive day, your offense gets going. Maybe you win a high-scoring game and a bullpen day. And if it doesn't work out for you, guess what? You come back tomorrow, you got Cade Anderson and Anthony Ianson and Chase Shores, and you're locked, loaded, and ready to roll to punch your ticket to the championship series. So it's a different approach. And Jay Johnson, after LSU beat UCLA on Tuesday in that continuation, he was asked about that, about like thinking about setting up the pitching. And this was his answer, and I believe this is a very real, candid answer. I don't believe this is gamesmanship from Jay Johnson. I believe this is true.
Never to look too far down the road in this tournament. I think you can get yourself in trouble with that. I think if you win the first two with only maybe 3 guys unavailable for the next game, you've probably done a pretty good job, and that's probably where we're at. I need to look at it a little closer. Don't have a pitching plan yet for tomorrow because we don't know who we're playing yet via Arkansas or UCLA. Both are capable of winning that ball game tonight. So we'll stay in tune with that and then adjust, and that's what this tournament is at times, you know.
I'm not sure that it would have mattered, Arkansas or UCLA. UCLA has 6 left-handers in their lineup, so maybe that makes Jay Johnson think you might want to lean toward a lefty, but then what lefty are you starting if that's the case? It's just not really an option, so I don't think it actually matters. It's pretty clear what LSU has right now. They've got Zach Cowan, they've got Jaden Newt, they've got Maverick Rizzi, they've got Connor Ware, they could bring Cooper Williams back, they've got Jacob Myers, who hasn't thrown in this tournament. You got down the line guys like William Schmidt. I mean, you've got arms. You've got arms to get you 27 outs. How efficient can they be is a gigantic question. The flip side of it for Arkansas is, Dave Van Horn has to have a little more urgency, but like LSU, who's not going to throw Cade Anderson tonight, of course, and could throw Anthony Ianson in the right situation, which we'll talk about. The top 2 arms for Arkansas are unavailable, obviously let me rephrase that. Well, Wood and Root certainly are unavailable. Gabe Gackel, who pitched very well through 90 pitches against LSU on Saturday in relief, certainly could throw tonight on 3 days rest in a specific situation. So I think those are the 2 that we're keeping an eye on. Ianson from LSU, Gackel from Arkansas, depending on if the situation would present for either of them to throw. But Dave Van Horn, after his team extended their stay in Omaha by eliminating UCLA, Dave Van Horn was asked if he knew who he was going to start yet against LSU.
Yeah, we don't know who we're pitching yet, honestly. We have a couple options, obviously, a couple left, a couple right, guys that have started some games this year. And, we're just try to piece it together tomorrow and see how it goes. But, we're not 100% sure who we're going to throw yet.
And I think we all kind of know the answer. I'd be surprised if it was anyone other than Landon Beidelshees. He's kind of been their number 3 all throughout the year. What you need to know about him is he's a lefty, and he's a number 3 starter in the SEC. I kind of more resembles a midweek arm. He's got an ERA north of 6 in conference play. His SEC ERA was 6.56. LSU did face Beidelshees on the Sunday of the series in Baton Rouge. He lasted 2 innings, gave up 3 runs, 2 homers, solo shots to Luis Hernandez and Steven Milam, who were batting 6th and 8th, respectively, in the lineup that day. For all we talk about the splits with lefties and righties for LSU, respectfully, it's just a big difference when the lefty is Liam Doyle or Ryan Prager and Landon Beidelshees. We're just having different conversations. It's the same like Arkansas was the best offense in the SEC this year. They had 314 as a team. Cade Anderson limited them to 1 run. in 7 innings on Saturday. It doesn't mean Arkansas can't hit lefties. It means they ran up against one of the best pitchers in the country. Landon Beidelshees is not that. So Dave Van Horn very likely will start Beidelshees, but he's got no shortage of options after that. Gibbler, who pitched against LSU on Saturday, could certainly come back, has not thrown since that game against Saturday. Dylan Carter, who's made 22 appearances on the season, has not yet pitched in Omaha. Christian Fouch, who pitched against LSU, the guy, freshman who throws 100, threw against LSU on Saturday. He hasn't pitched since then. He could come back. Parker Coyle could throw tonight. They got arms. I mean, they got arms. Just like I rattled off Cowan, Newt, Rizzi, Ware, Williams, Myers. I mean, you got arms. Like, you're not going to run out of pitching in this ballgame. It's not going to be like UCLA yesterday where they're literally throwing guys twice in the same day. That's not going to happen for either of these teams. You're just not going to have the top of your staff available, either team, in this ballgame. So with the wind turning in Omaha, blowing out a little bit down the line, this could resemble like a Game 3 in the SEC that becomes a bit more offensive. That's probably what I would keep an eye on in this ballgame tonight. Now, the Gabe Gackel and Anthony Ianson parts of this conversation are ones that I think are fascinating and ones that we're going to have as we continue throughout the show today, the scenario that could unfold to where either of those guys could pitch. As a matter of fact, Todd Walker is going to join us from Omaha in 4 minutes, and when T-Dub's here, I'll get his thoughts on that and just hitting alone in that ballpark. So we'll do that. Our show open every day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR and the official beer of the LSU Tigers. Whether you're headed to Omaha or you're watching the Tigers back at home, make sure you got plenty of delicious ice-cold Bud Light, the official beer of the LSU Tigers. If you're building a better burger, you're throwing something on the grill, steaks, whatever it may be, hanging out by the pool, heading to the beach, or just kicking back, watching the game from the comfort of your home, drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of the LSU Tigers. Okay, let me knock out a quick break. We're in New Orleans today. And fired up to be here for the Mackel Pro-Am Golf Tournament and raising money for scholarships for kids in need, which is an awesome, worthy cause, why we're down here and thrilled to be. We'll tell you more about that as we move throughout the day. Todd Walker joins us from Omaha as we continue next here on AFR.
After further review.
GLO, GlowResources.com. They are complete employer solutions. You know, you hear this so often now from a lot of business owners that the hiring market is really tough. And if you're a business owner, an HR manager, a hiring manager, and you're struggling to find the right people because the hiring market has been such a challenge, call Glow Resources. They are a permanent solution, and at Glow Resources, they do not lose customers. They have a 96% success rate. And in the very rare instances that the employee they find for your business doesn't work, they'll offer you a prorated refund, or they'll find you a new employee for free. What do you have to lose? Maximize efficiency with the right people. Let Glow Resources help. It's glowresources.com. Check them out online at glowresources.com. GLO, glowresources.com. Complete employer solutions.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wildin'.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. its past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Inside of 3 hours from first pitch, LSU Arkansas from the College World Series. For Arkansas, win or go home. A win from LSU punches their ticket to the championship series. The most outstanding player of the 1993 National Championship and College World Series, Todd Walker, now the SEC Network, joins us for a couple of minutes. T-Dub, how are you, man?
Great, man. What's happening?
Another day. Excited about this game. I want to start by actually asking you about the conditions at the park, and I'm not trying to get you to play weatherman, but my understanding is that the wind is starting to blow out. As a hitter, how will that change, or would that change your approach?
When the wind was blowing out, I could stay within myself, and you didn't feel like you had to juice the ball, and so it made me a better hitter. I was able to go the other way. I was able to relax, and let the ball travel in. When the wind blew in, you felt like you had to give it a little extra, and that causes some overswings, and I forgot about the other side of the field because I was trying to get the barrel out and try to pull it, and so I had to fight that with the wind blowing in. When the wind was blowing out, if you put it in the air with some backspin, it's going to go. So it was a lot easier for me when the wind was blowing out for more reasons than just the ball carrying.
Give me, you've been there at Charles Schwab Field. How would you, as a hitter, characterize what the conditions have been like for hitters, just from us sitting here watching on TV?
I haven't been watching a whole lot of the games going on now, but before today, they had 11 home runs in this tournament so far, which is the least amount since 2016. So it's been playing heavy. It hasn't, not a whole lot of balls going out. Of course, we've had some really stud pitching performances, that have held guys down, but it takes a poke to get it out of here. You haven't seen a whole lot of opposite field home runs either. So like I was saying earlier, it feels like you got to get the barrel out and get everything behind it on the pull side to get it out.
Do you think we are in for a more offensive night tonight with LSU and Arkansas?
I think it's playing out that way. From what my guess, I'm looking at the list right here. I'm guessing they're going to go Zach Cowan, who only has one start all year. But remember, a couple of years ago, Nate Ackenhausen had that same situation, and he went 6 against Tennessee in an elimination game and only gave up 4 hits, didn't walk anybody, struck out 7. So that's the kind of performance they're going to need from Zach, who hasn't pitched great in the second half of this season. He was fantastic in the first half out of the bullpen. But Zach could show up. He's certainly capable. And if he does that, he can shut this Arkansas lineup down. And on the other side, I don't know that we know who Arkansas is going to throw. Landon Beidelshees has been there 3, but his last start was in Baton Rouge against LSU, where he only went 2. And after that, you got to go back to mid-April to even get a quality start out of Landon Beidelshees or find one. So I don't know. It feels like the answer is yes to your question, that it's going to be offensive, because both these clubs can swing the bat. But I feel also like somebody's going to show up that you don't expect, kind of like the Nate Ackenhausen story a few years ago.
That's kind of how it always happens in this tournament. Todd Walker is with us. Let me ask you a follow-up there about Cowan, who, you're right, I went and looked it up, Todd. His first 16 appearances on the season, he allowed a total of 8 runs. I mean, his ERA was sub-2. He was awesome. And in his last 5, 4 of the 5 have been a mess. He's allowed 8 runs in 4 of his last 5 outings. The one exception was Arkansas, where he pitched 3 innings of relief, and it was 3 innings of shutout ball. Is there something maybe about Cowan, that low 90s fastball with the really good changeup? Is there something about him that maybe provides some type of challenge or issue for this Arkansas lineup?
Well, it used to be in the first part of the year. I mean, his off speed was working well. He's getting a lot of swing and misses. I think with the high leverage positions that they put him in, the stress over the first half of the year, it just wears on you, and he's not used to that, right? I mean, he transferred in. So now if you play for LSU, you've got to deal with that extra added pressure in certain things and guessing without really talking to him. And I don't know if he'd even admit it if you talked to him about it. But the second half of the year for a lot of these guys throughout the country in college baseball, especially when they've transferred in or they're a freshman, they're just not used to the grind of a season, and especially if you play for LSU and all the pressure that goes along with it. So my guess is that, they leaned on him pretty heavy in the first half of the year, and it just wore on him. But, again, in this stage, you would feel like he'd have more energy along with everybody else and be able to go out there and do his thing.
If you were making the call, and Todd, it's very likely either going to be Cowan or Newt, and I think we see both those guys tonight either way. Which way would you go?
I'd probably go with Cowan. The only negative is you can't put him in a spot out of the bullpen where you need him, right? So you're going to start him. Let's say he just has the nerves and he has a bad start. Then he's out, and then you're relying on a bunch of different arms that you don't really trust, Jaden Newt being one of them, out of the bullpen, So Newt's last start was in the regional versus Literak. He didn't get out of the second inning, gave up the 3 hits, and 2 walks. So he was a little erratic. William Schmidt's been erratic. Connor Ware has been erratic. So there hasn't been a whole lot of guys, I think, that they can trust tonight. So this is a tough one. But, the comparables between Arkansas and LSU are off the charts. Both have 50 wins. LSU's won 10 of the last 12, Arkansas 9 of 11. Defenses are elite, best in the country, both of them. And the ERAs for both sides, 3.8 for both. I mean, it's crazy how close that – you hear that noise right there, by the way? That's that Tiger tailgate thing just rode by the stadium playing the song. But it's amazing how comparable these two teams are without Cade Anderson and Anthony Einson on the mound. That's what separates the two, really.
Okay, so that's a good segue because I wanted to ask you about the 2 top arms that we could see tonight, but I think both coaches are hoping they don't have to, which are Anthony Einson and Gabe Gackel. Gackel could certainly pitch on 3 days rest and give Dave Van Horn something, and Einson only threw 44 pitches a couple of days ago. What scenario would unfold, if any, where if you're Jay Johnson or Dave Van Horn, you go to either of those guys?
It's really tough for the reason you said. You're really hoping that you don't have to use them and you can set your rotation up for the finals. If you're LSU, who's in the driver's seat, wouldn't have to play tomorrow. If you have to play tomorrow, you certainly would want Anthony Einson to start that game. I don't see a scenario with Cade Anderson starting tomorrow, but maybe, because that's what Paul Skeens had to do, remember, a couple of years ago. Started game 1 and then came back in that elimination game and pitched, but then he wasn't available in the final. To answer your question, I think, a 3-2, 4-2 game, a tight game in the 9th, you get 3 outs or 6 outs out of Einson, maybe, because their season isn't over tonight if LSU gets beat. So there's no reason to rush Cade Anderson in there, and really Anthony Einson for that matter. I think you'd load up for tomorrow, so there wouldn't be a panic. But if you see Einson, it would be 3 outs in the 9th with a 1 or 2 run lead.
What about for Arkansas and Gackel? Same,
I think, yeah. But see, they're really hoping they can keep Gackel for tomorrow. Like, Gackel struck out 10 LSU Tigers. By the way, I had to look at that number about 3 times. LSU struck out 16 times against Arkansas on Saturday. I was like, I had to do a double take on that. But, yeah, Gackel was a big reason why. And, just like you mentioned, they're really hoping that they can start Gackel tomorrow. But if Arkansas has a 3-2 lead or whatever, I see a scenario where Gackel could come in and close it out in the 9th. Sure.
I got a couple more for you, and Todd Walker's joined us from Omaha. The Arkansas offense was a big conversation the first couple of games, just 4 runs in the first 2 games combined. 7 runs against UCLA in the elimination game last night. Do you think Arkansas is busted out of whatever slump they were in?
Kind of. But, you're facing elite pitching right now. Remember, Arkansas's got some pretty good numbers. First in the SEC with 310 average, first in home runs, 125 or whatever. They've hit 14 home runs over the last 7 or 8 games, whatever it was. But remember, they played Missouri this year. They scored 51 runs in those 3 games. So all those offensive numbers that you see that are high were loaded up because of a 3-game series against Missouri. So they're very good. Don't get me wrong. But if you look at the numbers, you're like, wow, Arkansas is far and away better than anybody else in the conference, which is not true because of that series, So I think they're starting to calm down a little bit. When you want something so badly, it works negatively against you. And I think with the combination of facing Cade Anderson, they want to win so bad for Dave Van Horn. They've never won it here. And so that was the added pressure in game 1. They've settled down. They've had 10 hits in the last 2 games. And back to your original question, I think this will be an offensive night, but the ballpark's really not playing that offensive, but I think you'll see some runs.
Yeah, be interesting to see what the wind may do. Hey, before you go, is there anything, a key, something we haven't discussed that you think maybe a player or something to keep an eye on tonight?
Well, Jay keeps flipping the lineups around. Remember, the top 3 in that lineup on Saturday night were 0 for 13. So then he puts Derek Curiel back in the leadoff spot. He had him 6-0 on Saturday night. I think if you put Dickinson back up in there too, they could feel a little more normal. I don't think that's going to happen. And, of course, Jarrett Jones busting out of that 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts by getting 2 hits the other night, both the opposite way, by the way, which is key for him, letting the ball travel and using the backside of the field. I think the offense is key, especially early in the lineup. And more specifically, Derek Curiel gets on base 47% of the time. So if he can get on base, then the rest follows suit. But if Arkansas can keep Derek Curiel off the bases, then it's trouble for the rest of the group. It always feels like Jarrett Jones does better with guys on base. When they're not on base, it feels like he's trying to hit a 5-run home run with nobody on base, and that's when he strikes out. But we'll see. But Derek Curiel, I think, is the key.
Yep, so if Beidelshees goes, he's a lefty, and Todd, that means Pearson probably goes in the lineup and Brown goes to the bench, at least until they go to the bullpen, and Pearson was leading off. Would you stick with that, or would you, even if it's a lefty, would you flip Curiel back to the leadoff spot?
The reason they're doing that is because Pearson hits almost better against left-handers than he does right-handers, but it's a small sample size. I think Derek Curiel can handle the lefties, but I do think that Pearson would get put back in the 1 or 2 spot if Beidelshees did throw, and Curiel would get moved back down to the 6. You asked me what I would do. I would keep Curiel in the leadoff spot, and Pearson would play, but he'd hit in that 6, I think. But, again, Beidelshees has not been great, and so that factors into that as well. It's not like you're facing lefty Cade Anderson.
Right. Todd Walker joining us from Omaha. T-Dub, we appreciate it, man. Thanks as always.
Okay, you're welcome.
Oh, man, be well. It's AFR. We're brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints, rouses.com. Maybe you're knocking off work, you're heading home, you got to have a game watch, you want to throw something on the grill, pick up dinner for the whole family, but everybody's picky. They want their own thing. You pick up dinner at Rouse's any night of the week. They got their hot and boiled kiosk. You want boiled crawfish, boiled shrimp, grab and go, bag tagged, already ready. Maybe somebody wants the salad bar. Maybe somebody wants the hot bar. They got great Asian-inspired dishes. I tell you all the time, I love the chicken teriyaki rice. It's incredible. Check it out over at Rouse's. And look, if you're just doing your grocery shopping, make sure that you get it at Rouse's. They always have great deals. Check the weekly ad on their Facebook page or their website. It's rouses.com, rouses.com. They got 70 locations from Lake Charles to Orange Beach and points in between. Voted the best supermarket in the Gulf South. It's Rouse's. This feels like home. Okay, it's after further review. The Hump Day shows are brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Thanks for hanging out with us here. We are in New Orleans today. You also do Tigers in the pros and around the SEC for us while we're on location. So we'll take a trip around the conference. Alex Milazzo will be with us in 45 minutes. Of course, was on that Tiger team that won the national championship a couple of years ago. And Wes Moore will join us from Little Rock in hour number 3. We'll kind of get a peek of what the Arkansas side of things are thinking here in this ball game tonight. So a lot to get to here. We're at Bayou Oaks at City Park at the Mackel Pro-Am, and glad to have you hanging out with us here on AFR.
After further review.
AFR is brought to you by Darren James and Associates, brokered by LPT Realty. If you're thinking of selling your home, you need Darren James. Why? Because no realtor in our state sells more homes than Darren James. So you can ask yourself why that is. Well, it's easy. Darren's got the best people. He has the right systems and processes in place. If you have one conversation with Darren James, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about and his willingness to go above and beyond for his clients. I've told you stories before, like a family was out of town. They were going to be having a showing, and Darren ends up going to his listing property on Friday night at 11 o'clock to change a light bulb. It's that sort of attention to detail and commitment to his clients and their success why Darren James is the #1 realtor in the state of Louisiana. Remember, sit down with Darren, agree to a price and the deadline. If he doesn't sell your home at that price by that deadline, he'll have your home bought with cash or he'll sell it for free. It's Darren James. Agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Glad you're with us here as we're rolling along hour number 1 of a Hump Day edition of AFR. We always do appreciate our friends at Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Remember, lowest prices, never any contracts. Visit them online at yourgoodwood.com. That's yourgoodwood.com. We are here in New Orleans, and appropriately, the Saints today had an event where they did, in fact, announce their Saints Hall of Famers. And very cool that Brett Maxey, who was a great New Orleans Saint player when I was a kid, one of those late 80s, early 90s superstar players that you grew up idolizing. And then Tracy Porter from across the river in Baton Rouge and Port Allen, from Port Allen to Indiana to the New Orleans Saints, where he became a New Orleans Saints legend when back in Super Bowl 44, it was Tracy Porter who sent Jim Henderson and Hokie Gajan into a blissful exuberance.
Manning in the shotgun, puts Collie in motion, looks in his direction, the head picked off, it's picked off,
It's Tracy Porter again. He's running free. He's going to go all the way. Hand down stretch. It is a Saint touchdown. 70 yards on the return. 70 yards on the return by Porter. He did it to Favre, and now he's done it to Manning.
The great Jim Henderson on the call. What a moment, just sitting here, 16 years later, getting goosebumps, listening to it, and probably will for every day that the good Lord allows me to breathe air in my lungs. Tracy Porter will be inducted into the Saints Hall of Fame, something that he, in the press conference today, described what you would expect, true honor.
First, man, I just want to say thank you to everyone that had a hand in allowing me to be at this podium in front of you today. Man, it's a bit overwhelming. I mean, and you can wonder how that is with playing in front of 70+ thousand every week, but to be recognized by your peers and men and women that you see every single day and they think the highest of you, you can't put a value on that. So for everyone, like I said, that had a hand in getting me to this point, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Truly an incredible team, and I think most would argue that cornerback tandem of Tracy Porter and Jabari Greer is the best cornerback tandem that the New Orleans Saints have ever had. I think Marshawn Lattimore is the best individual cornerback at his height, at his peak of performance, that has ever played for the New Orleans Saints. But that tandem of Tracy Porter, Jabari Greer back in 2009, I believe the best cornerback tandem the Saints have ever had. And my goodness, they were fun to watch, and massive moments for Tracy Porter, both in the NFC Championship game, intercepting Brett Favre, and then sealing Super Bowl 44 with the win with the pick six there off of Peyton Manning down in Miami. Congrats to Brett Maxey and to Tracy Porter there as well. It is After Further Review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here on a Hump Day edition of AFR. Just a ton to do as we roll through here. We're very grateful for our friends over at Our Lady of the Lake. We've continued to tell you about this partnership, but Our Lady of the Lake is the championship health partner of LSU athletics, and when you go into Tiger Stadium or Alec Box Stadium or the PMAC or any venue, you're going to see that Our Lady of the Lake logo. When you obviously watch games, you're gonna see that Our Lady of the Lake logo and hear about the Our Lady of the Lake Championship Health Partner. It's because the relationship that LSU and Our Lady of the Lake has is so vital for both entities. Yes, Our Lady of the Lake as a Championship Health Partner not only is a huge financial benefactor of LSU athletics being a key corporate partner, but they also provide championship-level health care for the student-athletes, but also for LSU students and for you and for me. It's Our Lady of the Lake. If you want to learn more about the partnership or how you can get advanced exceptional medical care, you can go to ololrmc.com/LSU. That's ololrmc.com/LSU. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. Together, we roar. All right, Muso, do the honors today around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference, the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Arkansas has hired Houston Roughnecks defensive coordinator and linebackers coach Chris Wilson as an assistant D-line coach to serve under Deke Adams. That's according to sources close to the situation. Before his time in the UFL, Wilson served as DC and D-line coach at Colorado from 2021 to 2022. He's also had stints as the D-line coach at USC, Georgia, and Mississippi State, also serving as the Bulldogs defensive coordinator from 2011 to 2012.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Georgia lands offensive lineman Ikem Ogboku. His older brother signed with the Bulldogs in the 2024 class, but Ogboku is a four-star, committed to the Bulldogs over Clemson, Florida, and Notre Dame. Impressive offer list. 6'6", 280 pounds, number 40 overall prospect in the country, number 3 interior O-lineman, and the number 3 prospect from the state of North Carolina. He will be a Bulldog.
The Vanderbilt Commodores.
And Vanderbilt doing some in-state recruiting of their own. Clark Lee pulls in 3-star wide receiver Keyshawn Tabutu. Held offers from Arkansas, Auburn, Georgia, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Tennessee, many others. He is out of Chattanooga. 5'11", 160 pounds, a 10.8 in the 100-meter dash this spring. Number 87 wide receiver in the country. He will go from Chattanooga to Nashville.
The Florida Gators.
And one baseball note here. Florida has secured its third transfer commitment of the offseason. This one, a pitcher, came late Tuesday evening. Hawaii right-hander Cooper Walls will play for Kevin O'Sullivan. He's a rising sophomore, was the Big West's freshman pitcher of the year in 2025, a 3.7 ERA, 15 appearances, 13 starts. Walls, 6.7 strikeouts per 9 innings. He will take his talents to Gainesville. That is around the SEC.
We're here at Bayou Oaks in New Orleans here for the Mackel Celebrity Scramble. If you're not familiar, Fletcher and Travers do an awesome job here with their foundation. They raise money to fund scholarships for children in need through both the 4Kids Foundation, helping organized also through the First Tee Foundation and Folds of Honor. So of the 4 scholarships they're funding this year, 2 through Folds of Honor to children of military families, and 2 through the First Tee Foundation. So for young golfers who are growing up in the game will have an opportunity to go to school, thanks in part to the help from the Mackel Foundation. So really awesome to be here, and appreciate the guys for the invite and allowing us to participate in a very cool day and a very fun event. It is After Further Review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here on this on this Wednesday edition. We are getting closer to first pitch, LSU and Arkansas, about 2 hours and 20 minutes away. The game going on right now, if you missed all the wildness that ensued with Louisville and Oregon State, it unfolded while we were on air on Tuesday, but Louisville was up 6-3. They were 3 outs away from advancing. Oregon State 3 in the 9th to tie it. Actually, the bases loaded with nobody out. But Louisville got strikeout, pop out to go to the bottom of the 9th, and ultimately would get a sacrifice fly to win it 7-6. So Louisville avoided elimination, but had to come back and beat Coastal Carolina twice. Coastal Carolina has just been all over Louisville. They got 2 early. It was 6-0 in the second inning of this ball game. It's 8-3 right now in the bottom of the 6th with Coastal Carolina leading. And my goodness, this is just a dream scenario for Coastal if they are able to beat Louisville, who's not a very good team. I mean, respect to them for advancing where they are. It's just a little surprising that they have advanced to where they are. But for Coastal here, this would give them, if they were to win here today, it would give them Thursday and Friday off before getting ready for the championship series starting on Saturday. So we'll keep you posted as that one moves along. Coastal's actually added another run now. It's 9-3 in the bottom of the 6th with the Chants staring down a second trip to the College World Series Championship Series and as many trips to the CWS. Okay, y'all, it is After Further Review. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. Our Hump Day shows are brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Thanks for hanging out. We'll knock out a quick break. We'll come back. We'll wrap up hour number 1 here from New Orleans at Bayou Oaks.
AFR.
I love telling you about Clegg's Nursery, the 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Always encourage you to buy local, shop local, and listen, it's a great time of year where so many of us spend more time outdoors, right? The weather's beautiful, even if it's a little hot. We're outdoors, we're by the grill, we're by the pool, we're enjoying our outdoor spaces. And if you want to beautify those outdoor spaces, let Clegg's Nursery help. Any of the 4 locations can get your outdoor area, your lawn, your garden, your flower beds, your patio pots looking awesome. You want to win Yard of the Month, Yard of the Week, Yard of the whatever. Clegg's has the expertise, the know-how, the products to make sure that happens for you. So you want the best selection, Clegg's Nursery. Maybe you're having trouble with weeds or dead spots in your lawn. Clegg's can help you bring those areas back to life or kill those pesky weeds or any of the other pests in your lawn or garden. Clegg's has all the products and know-how. So just walk on in, find any of their horticulturists, friendly staff. They're happy to help. Buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you to Clegg's Nursery.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
We played them 4 times. We lost in extra innings. They whipped us. We beat them. And then what happened the other night, I remember them all. You just play, you know. I mean, they're really good. They don't have any weaknesses. They got big-time arms. Their top 6, 7 arms all are big-time at this level. And they've got power, they've got some speed, and you know, you just have to pitch well against them, and you got to score. And if we don't score, we'll be in trouble.
That's Dave Van Horn, and I think he pretty succinctly said it there. That was after Arkansas eliminated UCLA to force this situation now against LSU. And this will be the 5th time that the two teams have played. They played the 1:17 a.m. game, of course, where LSU won it on the walk-off sack fly where Ethan Fry hit the shallow sack fly and Jared Jones scored. A day later against, incidentally, Gage Wood, who looked superhuman a couple of days ago in Omaha. LSU roughed up Gage Wood, and they run-ruled Arkansas 13-3. And then they came back in Game 3 and had an early lead, and the bullpen faltered, as it did a lot for LSU early in the season, and that was late in the season, but that's kind of been one of LSU's bugaboos. It's when the bullpen has not been able to throw strikes, and sometimes the offense goes into a deep freeze. I mean, those have been the two Achilles heels that have limited LSU when they've been limited. And Van Horn has seen all the versions of LSU. And, of course, on Saturday, it was just Cade Anderson was exceptional, and LSU struck out 16 times. But they found a way to be opportunistic, to get an early lead and then to add some insurance late. It was plenty enough for Cade Anderson and the LSU team. But, you know, the end of that clip there from Dave Van Horn is probably the one that's worth focusing on the most, where he said very flatly, we got to be able to score some runs. And for as much as we've talked about at times this year, the LSU offense struggling, be it Jared Jones or Stephen Milam hitting 200 in conference play, of late, although we haven't highlighted it much, Daniel Dickinson has really struggled to have effective at-bats. Braswell is a 197 hitter right now. I mean, it's just you have some outs in your lineup. But at times LSU's offense has been really good because you have guys 1 through 9 who are capable of busting out at any point. So it kind of feels like when it isn't someone, it's someone else picking them up. For Arkansas, it's so interesting because when Arkansas early in the year rose to become the #1 team in the country in the polls, it was in large part because it's when they found their offense. Like, everybody knew Arkansas was going to be able to pitch, and they've pitched exceptionally well all year. But when they found their offense is when they elevated, became the #1 team in the country. And they hit 314 as a team this year, which is why it's interesting that through the first 2 games in Omaha, they'd scored a total of 4 runs. And the struggles for Arkansas's offense in Omaha were a real conversation being had. So, look, it's one thing to struggle to score against Cade Anderson. That's been my contention all year. With LSU's offense, for example. I was doing an interview before I came on here with Wes Moore up in Little Rock on his show, and he was asking me about LSU's struggles offensively against lefties. And I said, look, you can look at the splits, and it's valid, but there's a lot of teams that are going to struggle against Liam Doyle and Ryan Prager and dominant left-handed arms. When, you face soft throwing lefty from Mizzou. You face Griffin Kern from West Virginia, who was their ace, but certainly not anything we would consider an SEC arm. I mean, LSU destroyed Griffin Kern, the Friday guy from West Virginia. So I don't think it's necessarily LSU can't face lefties. I think it's when you're facing a quality lefty. And so we'll see if it is Beidelshees tonight for Arkansas, which I think we're all assuming he'll at least get the ball as an opener, if nothing else, for Arkansas. But the flip side of it is how Arkansas will manage the LSU staff. And I will be so interested if it is Zach Cowan who gets the ball. And as of right now, we have not yet learned who is going to get the ball to start for LSU. But if it is, in fact, Zach Cowan, will Cowan be the guy that that he was against Arkansas in the regular season series on that Friday when he was outstanding in relief in the 1:17 a.m. game? I mean, Cowan gave you 3 innings of scoreless relief. If he can be that, he'll give you a shot. The real question in this game, though, that Jay Johnson's going to have to answer is the Anthony Ianson piece, and it's the same question that Dave Van Horn's going to have to answer about Gabe Gackel, because both would prefer not to throw either one of those guys in this ball game, but both will throw those guys if the situation arises. So the situation that would arise for either to be thrown, I think, is pretty simple. One, for LSU with Anthony Ianson, is if LSU is leading late in the game and you're 3 outs away, 5 outs away, whatever that case may be, I do believe in that situation that Jay Johnson would go to Anthony Ianson for 30 pitches to see if he could get those final 3, 4, 5 outs, whatever that number may be, where he felt like, okay, this is the time to go to it. We saw Anthony Ianson already pitch in relief in this postseason. So if that's a situation that arises and Jay Johnson's looking at it and going, okay, maybe for Ianson, like closing out like he did against Little Rock when he went an inning and 2/3 and was awesome, struck out 3 of the 4 outs that he recorded, you do it. If that's what you need to get you to the championship series, because even in that situation, if Ianson threw 20, 30 pitches tonight and it got you to the championship series, he'd have Thursday off, Friday off, Saturday off, and then pitch Sunday. He'd on 3 days rest, and he'd be ready to go full extent. As for Gabe Gackel, there's also no doubt at all that Dave Van Horn would rather not throw Gackel tonight and have him ready for tomorrow against Cade Anderson. But it's sort of a flip of the scenario where if it looks like things are going to get away from Arkansas early and Gackel's available, then you go to Gackel just like you did on Saturday. The exact same scenario. LSU got an early lead, and he needed to stamp that out, so he went to his best arm. That situation could arise again in this ball game. Or the other side of it is the Anthony Ianson scenario, where let's say it's a 4-3 ball game and the Razorbacks are 3 outs away from forcing a game tomorrow. Do you go get Gackel to get you those final outs, or do you get the 3 outs with someone else, hold your breath, and save Gackel for Game 3? But for both these coaches, their dream scenario is the offenses go bonkers and they end up winning comfortably. I don't know how realistic that feels in either way. What does feel realistic is with the wind blowing out and a bullpen day for both staffs, is we probably see more offense in this game than what we've been accustomed to in Omaha. So we are about 2 hours and 6 minutes away from first pitch of LSU and Arkansas. A win for the Tigers sends them through to the championship series and would end Arkansas's season. A win by the Razorbacks would obviously force a deciding game on Thursday that would end one team's season and send the other to the championship series coming up this weekend. Okay, it is after further review. We're here at Bayou Oaks for the Mackel, the Celebrity Scramble. Fletcher's going to join us right after the top of the hour. Excited to be here and have the invite to be here as they're doing great work, raising money and giving scholarships to less fortunate kiddos in the area. I say kiddos that are going to college, so young people. It's an amazing and noble endeavor, and we'll talk more about that with Fletcher. Might lob a few Saints questions at Fletcher as well. The Saints signed a tight end today, Seth Green. Cha-ching! Not that Seth Green. And also the Saints Hall of Fame announcement was today, so we'll do some of that as well when we come back right after the top of the hour. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. It is a Wednesday edition of AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. We'll knock out a quick break. Sports Center's coming up. We'll get you caught up on national headlines here at the top of the hour. Also, Alex Milazzo in 20 minutes from right now. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawbillsTire.com, with locations all over South Louisiana. If you are hitting the road, you're going to the beach, you're going to Disney, you're going, I don't know, wherever you go during the summer. Some people go to Tennessee to go to the mountains. Maybe you're Alondra and you go to Texas and go to Austin. I don't know. Wherever you're going, make sure you bring your vehicle to Shawbills first. They got locations all over South Louisiana. They started in Morgan City, ventured up to Baton Rouge, west toward Lafayette, and points in between. The bottom line is with Shawbills, they're going to sell you name brand tires at wholesale prices. And they're going to treat you like family so you keep coming back year after year after year. It's a strategy that's worked since 1968. It's Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. So go to the website. Remember, you can shop tires online. You can schedule service online. You can chat with an associate online. There's a little text bubble. You just hit that text bubble and boom, you're just chatting with an associate to schedule or help with whatever you need. It's Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. ShawbillsTire.com, ShawbillsTire.com. Shawbills, we keep you rolling.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website. LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net. Powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking NBA news from ESPN's Shams Charania. The Buss family's agreed to sell majority ownership of the Lakers to Mark Walter, the CEO of diversified holding company TWG Global. Jeannie Buss will continue to serve in her role as the team's governor. The Lakers have been owned by the Buss family since 1979. Uncertainty surrounding the status of Pacers star Tyrese Halliburton for a must-win Game 6 NBA Finals against the Thunder tomorrow. Halliburton confirmed he's got a strained right calf, intends to try to play. Regardless of whether he does, two Pacers in particular need to step up, according to ESPN NBA writer Kevin Pelton.
TJ McConnell, what we saw from him the other night, that kind of impact off the bench, had him change the tempo, provide the energy that he does is going to be crucial. And then Andrew Nembhard, it's a very different role, and it'll be interesting to see, whether he can continue to pressure Shai Gilgeous-Alexander the way he has through this series, if he's also being asked to handle the ball a lot more.
Kevin Pelton on Freddie and Harry. NFL Ravens signed former Packers corner Jair Alexander to a one-year, $4 million deal.
Your summer drink is here. Twisted Tea is a smooth, refreshing, hard iced tea with 5% alcohol, making it the perfect drink to take any day this summer to the next level. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Glad to have you aboard with us here. We're in New Orleans at Bayou Oaks for the Mackel Celebrity Scramble. In about 15 minutes from right now, former Tiger Alex Milazzo will be here. We'll head up to Arkansas, visit with our buddy Wes Moore, checking on the Razorbacks in hour number 3, one half of the Mackel. Fletcher is good enough to join us here. How are you, dude?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you being here. This is huge. Like, we asked you to play in this just so people know. And you said with LSU playing, it's too busy. I can't do that. But what if I do my show here? And it's like, well, you know what? That's bigger and better anyway. So, yes, thank you for coming down to New Orleans and being here.
You don't be hobbling around the course like not dry, just chipping and putting and devastating somebody's team. But they'd have been like, why did we get stuck with the old guy with a bad back?
Yeah, no, I don't think they would have said that. So here's the thing. I don't know if our quote-unquote celebrity players, they're all like current and former Saints, or we have 5 current and former Olympians, but all of them, when we asked them to play, were kind of like, I'm not great in golf. I'm like, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Can you putt? It's like, great, because that's what we need.
It's funny that I think you invited Gordy Rush to play.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because he actually can get around the course a little bit, so I'll probably have to hear that from him. But it is a great day, and I want to talk a little bit about we got some Saints stuff I want to talk with you about, but I do want to I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about why we're here and what you all do with this Celebrity Scramble and the funds that you raise.
Yeah, so my father was a longtime golf professional in the city of New Orleans, and back 30-plus years ago, they started a Metro Amateur Championship. If you're the high school player, college player, if you're the guy at your country club that thinks he's awesome, this is your chance to prove that you're the best golfer in the 10-parish New Orleans area. And then when he passed away in 2001, they renamed it in his honor. Well, a few years ago, the general manager of our TV station suggested, why don't we have a charity scramble? Because the Zurich Classic people, the 4Kids Foundation, Steve Worthy and Chris Kenyon, who do an amazing job with the PGA event in New Orleans, were great enough to put the Metro Amateur Championship under their blanket. And so this was a way to raise scholarship money for junior golfers in New Orleans. So today at the end of the tournament, we're going to give $4,000 or $5,000 scholarships to local junior golfers, and that's what this does. So people are playing with celebrities, mostly sports stars and former sports stars, and we got a couple of musicians. So all the money goes to junior golf scholarships for players in New Orleans that are going off to college next year that may need it. And then this weekend is the actual Metro Championship with the best amateur players We've had a few college kids win it recently. Last year, a kid from St. Paul's who plays at Southeastern won it.
Cool.
Former college players that are now active in amateur events here. So it's a very highly competitive event that we'll have this weekend.
Is it for the scramble is the fundraiser? Today is the fundraiser.
Yes, today's the fundraiser.
If people want to be involved, is there anything other fundraisers other than this event throughout the year?
To be honest with you, no. This is it.
No,
this is kind of it.
This is kind of a big thing that takes a year to put on.
Yeah, buy a foursome. And again, I'm not just saying it because they're sitting right here and they're here putting it on, but truly what the Four Kids Foundation, who produced the Zurich Classic, have done by putting this under their umbrella is make it big league. I mean, how they operate, what they do, from the gifts in the organization, in their infrastructure, makes it truly first class.
Yeah, they're awesome. Steve and Chris, they've been great to work with all the years. They've invited us to go down to the Zurich to do our show there, and they when they're there, it's a big deal and a good event. So we're thrilled to be a part of it as well. But if people maybe for next year are interested in maybe being a part, even if not part of the scramble, buying a team, sponsorships or whatever, where do people do that? How do they get info?
So they have on the Zurich Classic site, they do have like a tab for this if you wanted to be a part of it or contribute to it. So I think it's called like the Mackel or something like that. But it should be relatively easy to find. But really it's about buying foursomes and things like that.
Love to grow it even more and continue to see the event get bigger and bigger and bigger. Maybe next year I'll play, but probably not.
Well, let me say this. My brother and I thought we can't do a golf tournament. Like I go to sporting events and talk about sports. Like my brother covers news and politics. This isn't like I've never done anything like this. And we had a meeting with Chris, and he kind of calmed us down and go, no, like this is what we do.
That's good.
So we can help you do it, and we'll get it done. So it really, last year we were pleasantly surprised. Today, thank goodness, the weather has held off.
Yeah, man.
And,
there's an ominous cloud right over there. I walked outside, heard a little
I thought
rumble.
you were talking about Mike Triplett being
Mike Triplett. Look,
cloud.
Here's
I have 3 holes to play, and I walk in to hear Fletcher say the weather has held off.
Yeah.
I will hold you responsible.
As the ominous cloud rolls in right over number 16 right now.
Yeah.
But I'm sure Mike Triplett's crushing the course today.
Mike Triplett told me he's a good golfer, so we're going to see. We're going to see what his foursome has to say about him.
Are you really good golfer? Are you really a good golfer?
No, I'm a very average, enjoy the sport.
Very average, enjoy the sport. That's where I fall as well. I don't play enough to be. I can get around the course. I don't play enough to be good, so I'm not the guy that's ever going to curse or throw a club.
Okay.
Because I hope the ball is going to go where I want it to go. I don't expect the ball to go where I want it to go. Is probably the best way to put it. While I got you, a few things. There's some Saints news today. The Saints did add a tight end.
Yeah.
Seth Green from the UFL, not the cha-ching Seth Green.
Remember, say not the redhead actor.
No,
famous for Entourage, who did the cha-ching in the Dome. That was a big Saints thing growing up here.
Bro, I got the shirt.
He came as a kid, so no, Seth Green, the tight end.
It was the Rallies commercial. I got the cha-ching shirt still. It's like little cash registers with red cha-chings all over it. I still have the shirt. What do you make of this, of the Saints adding this tight end?
So I think that it's a position of need. Look, I think every position on the Saints is a question mark because they're coming off a 5-12 season, 4 non-playoff seasons, a new head coach. They're going to start either a rookie quarterback or a guy who went 0-6 last year. They have questions everywhere. But I think some of the biggest questions are at tight end because Foster Moreau suffered a devastating knee injury in the final game of the season last year on the final drive, playing his heart out, maybe to help Darren Rizzi get that job or just because that's who he is, because he's a quality human being and professional and plays hard. But that was first week of January, he blows his knee out, and it's significant. The first week of December, going back a month prior, Taysom Hill blows his knee out. So those were really tight ends 1 and 2. Juwan Johnson's a good player, but he's more of like that hybrid tight end, not an every down hand in the dirt guy. He's more of like a slot receiver than he is a tight end. They drafted the kid out of UCLA in the 7th round, but he's a 7th rounder. So if there was an area where they have a lot of question marks, but that's one of the biggest question marks that they have.
We were talking about Foster, and I mean, I think maybe others didn't realize how significant his knee injury was, and the Saints haven't really been very forthcoming with the severity of that injury. So, I mean, is it fair to say that I mean, I'm not holding you to this, but we maybe don't expect Foster to be available at the start of the season. We certainly don't expect Taysom to be available at the start of the season.
Yeah, no, you can hold me to it. I don't think either one of them are going to be anywhere close at the start of the season.
Okay.
I thought you were going to just ask me this season.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And so, but I don't think there's any chance that either is ready anywhere close to the start of the season, given the severity and the timing of when they happened.
So you look at guys like Dallin Holker, Moliki Mataval is the tight end, the 7th rounder from UCLA who they drafted. And then maybe Seth Green, who we're talking about here. These are guys who have a legitimate shot to make the roster?
Everybody's got a shot. That's what I mean. Look, again, the Saints, to me, I haven't remembered covering a roster like this since Sean Payton got here and flipped the roster, 37 new players in 2006. And you got to dig in, you got to go Google, and Google wasn't a big thing back then, and you got to go figure out who these guys are and, who's playing here, what happens with the depth there. I mean, Marcus Colston, we were calling him Marquise and wondering if they were going to make him a tight end, but it worked out well for him. You know what I mean? Like Jari Evans out of Bloomsburg. It's like that dude may play in 3 years when he figures out the NFL. And from day one, he's a plug-and-play guy. So I think that's where they are right now. It's been a long time since we've had a roster with this many question marks. Aging players, young players, I just don't know.
What do you make of the Saints signing Cam Akers?
Yeah, I think, look, they need depth at running back. Alvin Kamara is a good player, but he's long in the tooth now, and I think he's still going to be a very productive player for them, but Kendre Miller has been injured and has never really been able to get on the field. Ooh. I mean, look, I know Clyde Edwards-Helaire, we love him from 2019, but he was out of work until the Saints signed him last year. That's just not by coincidence. So, again, I think they need tremendous depth there, and Akers is a guy who's a proven NFL player. He spent some time with Kellen Moore, so sure, why not? I thought that was one of the positions they were going to address in the draft, and they did. They drafted the kid Neal out of Kansas.
They're high on Neal.
But I meant earlier in the draft. Sure. But the fact that he fell to them is fantastic. But again, super productive college player. Will it translate at this level? So I think it's Kamara, and then throw it all against the wall and see what sticks.
I know you've been here today, but did you happen to notice the Saints Hall of Fame announcement?
I did. I'm on the Saints Hall of Fame committee.
Oh, well, okay then. So then you did notice the announcement, or you probably drafted the announcement. Give me your thoughts on this class.
So it's fine. So there's a very diverse mix of people, older journalists, younger journalists. So we have Tracy Porter, obviously from the Baton Rouge area, responsible for two of the greatest plays in Saints history,
no doubt.
Picking off Brett Favre in the NFC Championship game and Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl. And then Brett Maxey, who was an overlooked player on the Dome Patrol era because
that's my childhood, man. I mentioned it in hour number one. It's pretty cool to see. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No,
but
it's okay.
To see Brett Maxey's name pop up today, I was like, look at Brett Maxey. Let's go.
Yeah, and so Brett Maxey, I will say this, and I have no problem. It's not like I'm hiding it or what we talk about in those meetings. I felt like I like the theme. Garrett Hartley's out here playing with us right now.
Oh, cool.
I thought, why not have the Super Bowl heroes go in together, Hartley and Porter, because it's the Saints Hall of Fame, and we have to put somebody in every year. And coming down the pipeline, we've got Mark Ingram, who's the second all-time leading rusher in franchise history behind Kamara. And then the year after that, we're going to have Jimmy Graham, who's the greatest tight end in franchise history. But there are some years where you go, ooh, who's it going to be this year? I liked the theme of Porter and Hartley in celebrating the Super Bowl because they produced the NFC Championship game, the kick, the interception, and in the Super Bowl, the kicks from Hartley and the interception. That theme spoke to me, but I was overruled, and there were a lot of people who felt like Brett Maxey Brett Maxey's a guy who's on the cusp, is a good player for the Saints that has maybe not received the recognition he deserves because of the famed Dome Patrol guys.
Yeah, man, 9 seasons for Brett Maxey. It was just, that was there when I was a kid and actually collecting cards, and you'd pull at anybody with a Saints uniform and you see a Brett Maxey. That's kind of where my brain went immediately. But some fun time and a good era as well. I saw Steve Gleason and Ed Daniels are also going to be honored.
Yeah, Ed Daniels, every year they have what's called the Joe Gemelli Fleur-de-Lis Award, and that goes to someone, it could be anybody, that has created the betterment of the organization. So it's been broadcasters. It was Kathleen Blanco, the former governor who helped get the Dome built. It's been politicians. It's been super fans. It really is open to anyone. And Steve Gleason, again, there's been an argument that he should be a Hall of Famer for his play in the Dome coming. He was recognized as there's a wing in the Hall of Fame named after him. So it's been a kind of a peculiar.
There is presently?
Yeah, presently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so he even joked that when they found a way to get him into the Hall of Fame, he thanked Mickey Loomis and Sean Payton saying that you always found creative ways to get me on the roster. I appreciate the Hall of Fame finding creative ways to get me into the Hall of Fame. But he was honored today as well. And this was more of a dual thing with Washington State and the Saints. There was a nice bust in artwork sculpture that was presented to him with the cougar and the fleur-de-lis. So that was really nice.
That's awesome. Do you think, Steve, there's a day where Steve Gleason would be a Saints Hall of Famer?
I'll say this. Look, Mike Triplett just walked by. He's on the Saints Hall of Fame committee with me. Some of these lunches get heated because there's a strong push. Because look, Tom Dempsey's in for one kick for all practice. Tracy Porter's going in for 2 amazing plays that changed that season in the course of a franchise forever. I think there's a strong argument to be made that moment after Hurricane Katrina in Steve Gleason should be in, especially the work he's done afterwards for ALS in the community. Yeah. But he hasn't gone in yet on the merits. And here's the thing, he's the all-time leader in blocked punts. Like, I could make an argument for this.
That's an argument and a conversation that'll always persist when we have Hall of Fame conversations. In football, it's different because in baseball, we're married to numbers, right? 300 wins, 500 homers, there's all the things. With football, we generally don't know. Like, okay, Alvin Kamara is the Saints' all-time leading rusher. Do you know his rushing total? I don't.
If I heard it, I'd know. But
sure,
right.
but like, we don't marry ourselves to numbers. It is a Hall of Fame, and football tends to be defined more by moments, the catch, the drive, things like that, named plays and things like that. So you mentioned Porter's interception, and we immediately go to where it is. So I mean, the rebirth is something that is synonymous with the New Orleans Saints. I get it. I get the argument.
And I'll say this: I'm one of these people who believes Eli Manning's a Hall of Famer. I don't know if he was the first.
Agree.
He was. I agree. He wasn't a first ballot in New Orleans last year, but if you win 2 Super Bowls and you're a 2-time Super Bowl MVP, that shows that you rose at the greatest moments when your team needed you. Because some people are like, he's only a 4-time Pro Bowler. Well, he's a 2-time Super Bowl MVP.
Yes.
Like, there are people that may never play in a Super Bowl, let alone win one and win the MVP, and he did it twice. So I do think there are championships and moments that kind of supersede the body of work, so to say.
TheMackel.com. That's for the championship. Okay. And there is also a link for the Celebrity Scramble there as well. So if you want to get more information, you can get it there. The Mackel, M-A-C-K-E-L, TheMackel.com. If you missed it this year, make sure you're playing it next year, and hopefully we'll be invited back, man.
Anytime. Seriously. The fact that you're here, we love it.
It's our pleasure. Thanks for the time. We appreciate it. Fletcher Mackle, we appreciate him for joining us on site here. We are here at Bayou Oaks. We'll knock out a quick break. When we come back, former LSU catcher Alex Milazzo will jump aboard. Was there the last time that LSU won the national championship in Omaha. Knows what this situation's like. We'll get to that as we continue here on AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done. You go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com. It's interesting if you've been following social media around the College World Series, the big black flag with the gold block G flying over Charles Schwab Field. Our guy Will Helmers is there. Handing out 888 Jell-O shots for every day that LSU is in the tournament, the creative way that Gordon is making sure that LSU continues to roll and the Roccos challenge. We got our 8888 Reasons to Rally hat here on site with us today. Why not? I mean, LSU's in the College World Series. Let's rally tonight against bullpen day for Arkansas and see the Tigers punch their ticket to the championship series. But whatever you do, if you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. You need representation. Make sure you get Gordon and get it done. Go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable. And
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
We are rolling along here from Bayou Oaks in New Orleans here at the Mackel Celebrity Scramble, and glad to be here. Counting down to LSU and Arkansas. We are an hour and 39 minutes away. Guy who knows what it's like to be in this situation is Alex Milazzo, the catcher from the 2023 National Championship team. On the road today, but good enough to jump aboard with us here for a few minutes. Hey, man, how are you?
Doing good. Thanks for having me.
No, man, thank you for making the time. When you get into a scenario like this, again, 23, the shoe was on the other foot. You all were needing to beat Wake Forest twice. So maybe put us in the mindset of where Arkansas is today, going into this ball game against a team that's already beaten you and knowing you have to beat them twice.
Yeah, I think, one, Arkansas and LSU are kind of in a different situation we were. You know, they obviously have a bunch of history with Arkansas and Dave Van Horn and that coaching staff and their players, and seen them early in the year. So I think that that definitely gives LSU the advantage playing a team like Arkansas right now, because I feel like LSU has beaten up on them a little bit. So, but in this type of situation, I would look to see Arkansas kind of playing a numbers game with the pitching staff and kind of trying to set that up not only for the win today, but for the win tomorrow, potentially. So it's definitely not an ideal situation with a team like LSU on the other side.
How do you feel, Alex, about approaching the pitching on a day like this? Give it to me from LSU's perspective, where you have a game to play with.
Well, I know you're kind of in a funny situation with Ianson coming off. He only threw, 35 pitches the other night in their win in the rain-out game. So I would expect to see somebody like Ianson potentially close out this game. I wouldn't expect to see him start. I think you could potentially see Ianson come into the back half of this game if LSU has a shot to win it in the last three to four innings. I think he can have an extended relief outing, but at the same time, I think the way it's kind of setting up is you could see somebody like a Newt start the game, or one of your lefties, somebody starting like that, and kind of piece it together as you go, to where if you happen to play a game two, you got a loaded staff and Cade Anderson, Chase Shores, Kason Evans potentially bounce back, Ianson, having him there. So I think you don't see LSU unload everything on this game, but I definitely see them going after it late in the game if you have the lead.
Sure. Alex Milazzo is our guest. Can you give us a little bit of a sort of a peek into Jay Johnson's mind and how he, like what he's telling the team and how he's approaching, like just what you described, right? I mean, Ianson makes sense. If you have an opportunity to close the game, you go to him to slam the door. But you know, what is it like with Jay behind closed doors with the team right now?
Yeah, I think something that Coach did was just really good at when we were in Omaha was obviously we're in a different situation, but it's pulling guys aside. It's mainly your pitching staff and then some guys that would come in late to pinch hit and just kind of preparing them and laying out the situation and giving them situations to expect. And normally, it happens, but having those guys prepared and expecting when to get up, start moving around, preparing for an at-bat or preparing to go in the game, head down to the bullpen and just kind of mentally lock them into, hey, man, you're going to come in right here. You're going to give us the inning, maybe 2 innings, and then we're going to go to this guy. He's going to give us
Being from and spending most of my life in
Chase Shorts, you're going to close this game out. So I think doing that helps a lot. And I remember going into the Wake Forest deal after we lost the first Wake Forest game, he said, Ackenhausen, you're starting this game. You're going to give us 3 to 4. He ended up giving us, I think, 7. Then he said, then we're going to piece this thing together in Wake Forest. And guess what? Wake Forest is screwed because we got schemes on the mound. So it's stuff like that you see, but also it's how we approached every game, whether it's preseason, regular season, conference tournament. You approach it like a 6-game playoff. That way you're prepared for this situation in Omaha. And then also I think how the SEC tournament is set up, it also prepares you with the atmosphere and everything because everything's so different in Omaha. That's the only thing I found that really compares to it is a super regional in Baton Rouge or the SEC championship game. That's about it.
Alex Milazzo is our guest. Hey, you've gotten to see the team plenty, and as a guy who was a really good backstop, if you look at Newt or Cowan, I'm presuming, Alex, it's going to be one of those guys to get the ball first today. I don't know. I don't really know what other option or direction Jay might go, but then again, who really knows? But if it were Newt or Cowan, which would you prefer to go first and why?
I would say I would expect to see somebody like a Newt. You could also see a Cowan in there. I would expect to see somebody like a Jaden Newt just because even though he is a little bit of an older guy, he hasn't, due to injuries and whatnot, he hasn't had the experience I think that Cowan has. So I would expect somebody like a Newt to start, and then you have a Cowan to come in and kind of put the fire out or bring it into a bases loaded situation. And he's calm, he's collected, and he really doesn't let the game speed up, it seems like. So I think I don't think you go wrong with either, but I would expect to see somebody like a Newt potentially start and give you an inning or two, or who knows, you could see a Schmidt or somebody like that start. But I would expect Cowan to come in more of a high leverage situation.
Okay. When you've been watching the team now so far through these 2 games in Omaha and through the postseason, what do you think has been your biggest observation, like your postseason observation of this team?
I think being able to win in multiple ways, and also just kind of the format of this lineup and the pitching staff. This team was built for Omaha. One of the best defensive teams in history. I know the infield's played great. I know you had a few hiccups there last night. It was a few weird tweener hits. But, the infield's played great. Outfield play has been great. You can plug and play guys for matchups. But also, you haven't seen so many home runs in Omaha. And that's something that I think a lot of teams that get to Omaha by hitting so many home runs, they tend to struggle because it's so offensive. But LSU has done a great job of having tough at-bats, situational hitting, moving guys over, and then capitalizing on the big innings and putting crooked numbers up. And at the same time, the pitching staff has complemented the offense very well by throwing strikes, limiting walks. I think the teams that do the best in Omaha do not walk guys and give them free bases. If you force teams to put it in play, it's a bigger field, but also at the same time, the wind's normally blowing in there, and the ball's not going to fly quite as well. So if you force teams to put the ball in play and hit the baseball, I mean, the best guys on most people's teams are hitting 300, which is 3 for 10. So you're going to get them out 7 times. So you force them to put the ball in play. You play solid defense, and I think that's why LSU's been so successful this postseason. And you also have had guys like Steven Milam really step up and come through in big situations. And but not walking guys and capitalizing on the other team's mistakes has been the biggest difference with LSU.
Alex, got a couple more for you. Alex Milazzo is our guest. Literally, as you and I have been talking, Arkansas just announced their starter, so we do know it is going to be Landon Beidelshees. He's the lefty, their Sunday guy, their number 3. I don't know if you know much about him. I don't. He was at Ohio State a year ago, so you didn't face him. He's a lefty. He's not an overpowering arm. He's just kind of a guy that you might typically see on a Sunday in the SEC, who's kind of an opener. You hope to get maybe 2, 3, 4 innings out of him. How do you think LSU saw him earlier this year? They roughed him up a little. He only managed 2 innings at the box on that Sunday. How do you think LSU approaches offensively facing a guy like Beidelshees?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is guys like him. He kind of relies. He's not going to overpower. He's not going to strike you out. So he relies on you coming as a batter or your offense getting outside of the plan. Coach talks about it a lot. Trying to do too much is not a plan. You have to force a guy you have to shrink the zone because he might not have overpowering stuff, but he's going to mix. He's going to nibble. So teams that expand the zone on guys like that get impatient or think that they have to hit the first strike that comes to them, normally struggle because they get themselves out. If you force a guy like that into the zone and force him to elevate the ball, then you can really do damage later in the count. You can drive his pitch count up. But most important thing for LSU tonight is not getting themselves out and to force him into the zone and elevate the pitches.
Alex Milazzo. Hey, last thing. Supposedly all the reports out of Omaha that the wind is blowing out today, and so the park should maybe play a little smaller. You played there. How does that change an offensive approach when the wind shifts and blows out at that park?
We've never built Coach Johnson. He's never built our offense, our approach. He's never built it to where you have to change based on the weather conditions, the field, the pitcher. Our approach and the approach for this team stays the same no matter what. And it's taking balls, hitting mistakes, walks, doubles, and head-high line drives, which if you're focused on head-high line drives with some guys' power, like a Jared Jones and so many other guys on this team, those balls are going to get into the gap, split gaps, and get over the fence. And then your mistakes, he just gives you room for mistakes. Then your mistakes are hard-hit ground balls that get to the infield. And you're never – whereas the Wake Forest was so focused on the long ball playing at their field, wind's always blowing out short field. I remember they struggled. They hit, felt like 20 pop-ups a game. So I think that's something that we've always done that prepares you for Omaha. And another thing is we're never changing our approach or how we go about our business or play the game based off the weather or the environment. Stays the same.
Former Tiger Alex Milazzo, national champion, good enough to spend a couple of minutes with us here. Hey, man, safe drive. I know you're on the road. We appreciate you for squeezing it in, man. We'll talk soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, be well. That is Alex Milazzo. It's after further review. Olympian Kristen Nus is going to join us on site here. We're at Bayou Oaks at the Mackel Celebrity Scramble, and glad to have you hanging out here on AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, our hump day shows all throughout the year. Hey, we talk a lot about the many services that Goodwood offers. And yes, I talk a lot about testosterone replacement therapy, but there's so many more ways to help optimize your biology. NAD Plus is something you may not know a lot about. I didn't until a couple of months ago. And the more I studied, the more I researched. Effectively, you are optimizing your cells, like to the very cellular level of your body, re-energizing and optimizing. Basically, it's almost like a fountain of youth. You're making your cellular biology behave like it did when you were younger. You want to talk about being able to live a fuller, healthier life with more energy? NAD Plus could be a solution for you. So check out our friends at Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Lowest prices, never any contracts. Visit them online at yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Look.
Optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
We're back at Bayou Oaks in New Orleans, the Mackel Celebrity Scramble, and not every day you get to chat with an Olympian, so that's pretty freaking cool. Kristen Nus is here, half of Cloth and Nuss. I was asking, I was like, like, where's Taryn? I mean, you all are just synonymous. It's like you're Siamese twins. Like, you're conjoined. You can't go anywhere without the other. Like, where is she today?
I was like, Taryn, I'm taking the day off. I'm going to play some golf. You go to practice.
Did she not get an invite? Do we have to talk to Fletcher about this?
Honestly, she did. Fletcher only texted me, so I don't know. I'm just going. Fletcher texted just me. I didn't put the offer out to Taryn. Sorry, Taryn.
It does feel like the play would have been that the celebrity partnered with a scramble group would have been both of you.
Yeah,
right?
You would think. I guess we got to talk with Fletcher.
He'll figure that out next year. So, I mean, what a run. I mean, you finished up at LSU in 21. Did I get that correct? Okay, so you finished up at LSU in 21. So here you are 4 years later. You've become an Olympian. This 4 years, you were telling me you're about to go to Switzerland. What has this 4 years been like from LSU to now for you?
Oh, my goodness. The whole journey, just Taryn and I coming out of college, that doesn't really happen in the sport of beach volleyball. Typically, when you graduate from college, you'll have a veteran pick you up. So the fact that Taryn and I made this Olympic run, just the two of us, just in and in and of itself is just kind of crazy. But yeah, we were so in the moment that I think now this past year we've finally been able to fully reflect and kind of be in awe of the journey of just like, wow, we made it. We kind of achieved a goal. We obviously didn't come back with a medal, so hopefully maybe LA 2028 we can put that out into the universe that will come back with a medal. But yeah, it's just been an absolute wild 4 years.
So if I understand correctly in the sport, you all were college teammates. Typically, when you graduate, then you said you get picked, like a veteran player would pick you up, you go have a new partner. So the fact that you all have been teammates now, that's uncommon.
Correct. And the fact that this will be our 5th year playing together, that again does not really happen in the sport. It typically you're splitting up constantly, but we're very trustworthy of each other and just sticking together.
You're like a band. Like,
pretty much.
You break up, you get back together, you play the hits, you do the reunion tour, you break up again. Do y'all ever get sick of each other?
There's times.
Yeah, right?
We definitely have the sister relationship but now as we've spent more and more time together, we understand like, okay, maybe we do need to give the other person some space. So we've learned that over the years as probably when we first started playing together, I definitely played the little sister role very well. When I knew she was a little annoyed, I would kind of poke the bear a little bit. But now I've learned that we can have some time apart.
What do you think is the most common unspoken thing when you get to know someone that well, that either how you can do something, nonverbal that she'll pick up on, or you for her? Like, does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely.
What do you think is the most common thing that you'll do?
Oh.
On the court or otherwise?
Oh, gosh, that's so hard. Honestly, my list is probably so long. I'm trying to think. I don't know.
It's okay. Think on it. We'll come back to that.
That was a tough one on the spot.
If you come back to it, because I was just interested, like, is there a way you could ever, because sometimes in football, like there's this famous play from LSU back in 07 when Matt Flynn threw a touchdown pass to Demetrius Byrd, and he just kind of looked at him. And he just knew, okay, I'm running this route. So he kind of changed the play just by looking at him.
Yeah.
And it's weird. It's wild to hear that.
Yeah,
but when you know
happens.
someone that well, like I would imagine there's times where you're just like, y'all just look at each other and she knows, okay, well.
That happened actually at practice yesterday. We did something and no words were spoken. And the girl who was practicing with us, she was like, y'all really didn't say anything just now? Like, nope, we just kind of knew.
Yeah, you know when you're that good. Kristen Nus is hanging out with us, Olympian, Tiger. Are you a golfer?
I do have some clubs. I need to break them out more often.
Yeah.
I really need to get on the putting green, which I've learned from today because I was terrible. But I plan on, while in season, I'm not trying to tweak a back or anything. So maybe when the volleyball career is done, I plan on being more of a golfer.
So today was just chipping and putting mostly?
Yeah,
you kept the driver in the bag?
I brought in my brother to do all the heavy lifting, and I just tried to go out and hit the greens, but it was rough.
So he's the ringer?
Don't tell him that. He was all right.
Well, you need those if you want to be competitive in any sort of format like this. So what's next for you now? So you practice here in New Orleans?
In Baton Rouge.
Oh, you practice in Baton Rouge.
Home.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Baton Rouge is home. So you practice. So you're based out of Baton. We'll have to talk more.
Yeah.
So you're based out of Baton Rouge. You're in season? You told me. So what's next?
Yeah. So actually on Friday we're leaving to go. We have a tournament in the Hamptons this weekend. That's with the AVP.
What a crummy life.
Yeah. This is the first time it's been in the Hamptons, so we'll see how it goes. But that is with the AVP, so you can watch that all. It's on CBS Sports or the CW network. And then we go international, back on the international stage. A week from Saturday, we'll go to Switzerland. So we are all over the place. I'm honestly surprised I was able to make this tournament. But, we are definitely in the thick of things season-wise.
Where give me a quick checklist of the places you've been that your career has taken you in these 4 years that you maybe thought you never would have gone in your life.
Doha, Qatar, or Qatar, however you say it.
I've always heard Qatar, but yeah.
And while over there, went to Dubai.
Nice.
Cape Town, South Africa.
Okay.
Stade, Switzerland.
That's
those top three, I'm like, if someone would have told me that a couple years ago, I just would have thought they were crazy.
And we got eyes on LA in 28.
LA 2028, that's casually playing in front of the Eiffel Tower, also add that to the list. That one was pretty special too.
By the way, that court setup was insane.
Insane, absolutely.
Like, I mean, please.
No, the amount we would just walk around the Olympic Village, and you're obviously like, oh, what sport do you play? And we're like, beach volleyball, and every single person we're like, you got that venue. We're like, yeah.
It
was nice.
I don't know what else they would have or could have done there. I mean, it's an outdoor sport in a confined area, but man, that was. You want to talk about? Do you have photos?
Oh,
like everywhere?
Tons of.
I mean, like on the wall everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like wallpaper on your phone, probably.
That one is now I have to give it to my now fiance.
Okay.
He's on the on the home screen, but unbelievable.
If I were him, I would get it. I'd be like, no, like take me off. Like, dude, that's way cooler. Like,
I'll send him this.
So real quick again, if people want to watch, where do they watch? And when are the matches?
Yeah, so this weekend is on the AVP, so it's on the CW or CBS. It kind of depends on the format of it. And then for international play, it's all on VBTV, which is I know another subscription service. But
everybody needs them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But that is where all international play, and internationally is actually what qualifies for the Olympics.
Cool.
So come 2027, that's kind of where everything will be focused on.
We'll have to be in touch. This is really cool that you came out to do this today, especially with as busy as you are, to like carve time to do. Because when you have downtime, like you just want to have downtime.
Absolutely.
But to take a day is really cool. So it's a pleasure to see you.
Yeah.
Good
you
luck.
As well.
Good luck
go.
in the Hamptons, and we'll see you in LA in 28. But we'll see you before. Now that I know you're still in Baton Rouge.
Yeah. Now we need to get an LSU win tonight.
Give me a thought, real quick.
We got to do it tonight.
All
We're
right.
doing it.
So are you big baseball or just because it's purple and gold?
I would say I'm a College World Series baseball fan.
No doubt. If you're going to jump in, this is the time to do it. Big
Absolutely.
one tonight. We need all the Tiger juju pulling in the same direction. Kristen Nus, thanks for stopping by.
Oh, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
It's After Further Review. We will continue here from Bayou Oaks. We'll continue here from Bayou Oaks in New Orleans. We're not going to quick break. Muse to do Tigers and the Pros. Don't you move here on AFR.
After Further Review.
We're brought to you by the Watermark and the Renaissance. Two amazing hotel properties, Watermark downtown, Renaissance Southtown. Southtown's right there on Bluebonnet across from the mall and Perkins Row. Hey, look, if you've got family coming in, friends out of town, for whatever reason, make sure they know about Watermark and Renaissance to book their rooms there if they're coming in. Or maybe you're looking for a little staycation. You don't want to get in the car and drive. Why not stay at Watermark or Renaissance? I mean, Watermark downtown is awesome. It's walkable to everything in downtown Baton Rouge, restaurants and shopping and the river and so many sightseeing things that we maybe sometimes just forget, being that we live in the city. And then, of course, Renaissance Baton Rouge is so convenient. Sprawling hotel, has all of the amenities you could want, and it's so convenient to everything in town. It's the Watermark downtown. It's the Renaissance Southtown right there on Bluebonnet. Two amazing hotel properties. Watermark voted by you the best hotel and the best of 225. It's Watermark and Renaissance Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wild.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. We will head up to Arkansas, talk to our buddy Wes Moore here in 10 minutes from right now to preview LSU and Arkansas from the Razorback side. If you missed it, Landon Beitelschieß has been named the starting pitcher for Arkansas tonight. We're still waiting on official word from LSU. We're brought to you by Parrish Construction and Roofing, parrishbuilt.com, parrishbuilt.com. Do business with someone you know, Parrish Construction and Roofing. You know, we are here in New Orleans today. Parrish has our office on Clearview in New Orleans. So we cover, when I say we cover the whole state, we cover the whole state. So it doesn't matter if you're in Baton Rouge, if you're here in the 504, the 337, if you got an issue with your roof, we'd be honored if you let us help you out. Do business with someone you know, Parrish Construction and Roofing. You can sign up for that free, no-obligation roofing inspection at parrishbuilt.com, parrishbuilt.com. That's parrishbuilt.com. All right, Muso, Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right, of course, Malik Neighbors, he's been dealing with a toe injury. He's got a toe this spring. It's kept him out of OTAs. It's kept him out of minicamp, all of it. Head coach Brian Daboll met with the media on Wednesday, said the team has no concern about Neighbors' availability for training camp, though. This is the toe issue he's dealt with since he was at LSU, and the team believes that the rest this spring was the best course of action. Of course, Neighbors set a rookie record for receptions with 109 catches last season. Once he's back on the field, he will need to gain chemistry with the 13 quarterbacks that the New York Giants have on their team. Alex Lang made his first rehab appearance in high A ball a night ago, recovering from a lat injury that required surgery. It was a perfect inning of work for Lang, 1 inning and 1 strikeout. They'll continue to ramp him up, and hopefully you see him back with the Detroit Tigers, who are having a really good season here later on in the summer. Jake Fraley, pretty solid night for the Reds a night ago. 2 for 4, 2 RBI, scored a run as well. Played in right field, hitting the bottom of the order. It brings his RBI total up to 16 on the season. Rocky outing for Cole Henry on Tuesday night for the Nationals. Did not record an out. He was second out of the bullpen in the 7th inning. Second out of the bullpen, started the 7th inning. Did not record an out. Gave up 2 hits, walked a guy, 4 earned runs for Cole Henry. That's on the short list for one of his worst outings of the year. Look for him to bounce back, though. He's been phenomenal since getting the call-up. Angel Reese recorded yet another double-double a night ago. Shot 50% from the floor, totaled up 17 points. She would also add 10 rebounds as well. Did go 0 for 1 from behind the arc. That is Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels. Fine jewelry at Lee Michaels. They are approachable. I know buying a diamond can be intimidating, but service is what sets Lee Michaels apart. Listen, you're always going to get a beautiful diamond. Every single diamond that goes in the case is hand-inspected by a family member. But they have experience. They are affordable prices for every budget. And if you want to go in and try on 1,000 different rings, do it. Go try 1,000 different rings on if that's what you want to do. Lee Michaels has been around for 40 years. Don't be nervous. It is a very personal experience when you go to Lee Michaels. They understand you're buying a symbol of your love that will last forever, and they want that to be a special occasion. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Go learn. Don't feel pressured to buy today. Go learn. They've got more industry-educated associates throughout the state than anyone else. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com, or walk into any of their 9 locations: Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport, and lmfj.com. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. Thrilled to be down here in New Orleans at Bayou Oaks here for the Mackel Celebrity Scramble. Our buddies Fletcher and Travers Mackle. This is a fundraiser that they're putting on, raising scholarship money. In just a bit here, they're going to award 4 scholarships to high school students going into college to help with their education, 2 in conjunction with Folds of Honor to children of military families, and then 2 members of the First Tee Foundation benefiting youth golfers here in the city of New Orleans that will be going on to college. So awesome occasion to be here in the city. We're thrilled to have had the invite to count you down to LSU and Arkansas. We're heading up to Little Rock. Our buddy Wes Moore joins us next.
After Further Review.
As we put a button here in hour number 2, let me remind you about Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, Hardy Plank vinyl siding. They do shutters as well. It's Relief Windows. And look, you look at a day like today as I look out the big windows behind us, the dark storm clouds are rolling in. And I want to remind you that we are in storm season now. It is hurricane season. And these windows, these impact-resistant windows from Relief Windows, are Cat 5 storm approved in Miami-Dade County. What that means is it adds an extra layer of security and protection for your home. We've all seen the scenarios before. Storm comes, it blows out your windows, you get water and lots of different stuff in the house. With this, you don't have to worry about it because those windows aren't going to break. Also, it'll make your home more energy efficient. Also, a layer of safety from intruders. It's Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. They do shutters as well. They're always their #1 product is customer service at Relief Windows.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come out for game day and let our team make you the MVP. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking NBA news from ESPN's Shams Charania. The Buss family's agreed to sell majority ownership of the Lakers for a $10 billion valuation to Mark Walter, the CEO of diversified holding company TWG Global. It'll be the largest ever sale of a U.S. pro sports team. The late Jerry Buss bought the Lakers for $67 million in 1979. Pacers star Tyrese Halliburton confirmed he's got a right calf strain, intends to try to play in a must-win Game 6 NBA Finals against the Thunder tomorrow. ESPN NBA analyst Monica McNutt.
If that guy tries to go, as I expect him to because he is an elite competitor and he just happens to become the starting point guard for a team in the finals, and looks terrible, you got to pull him. Like, let's get to plan B. Let's get to the game plan that does not include Tyrese Halliburton, and let's proceed. I actually think that the decision being made earlier rather than late probably would benefit the rest of that roster in terms of guys understanding how they need to play.
Monica on Joe and Q. Browns rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders cited by Strongville, Ohio police early yesterday for driving 101 miles an hour, 41 miles over the posted speed limit.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive is here for all of life's needs, with protection for your home, auto, business, and more. From timely repairs to customizable coverages and payment options, we make it easy. See if you can save at Progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Go!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. We are here today at Bayou Oaks for the Mackel Celebrity Scramble and an awesome day. The golf event is over, so everybody's now made their way here into the clubhouse, and I'm fired up. I just saw my guy hold the mayo, Devin Snow. Brooke Kirchhoffer's here. Matty Hudak is here. Mike Triplett is here. Gordy Rush popped by just a bit ago. Really fun day, man. Got to meet Tyrone Hughes, former New Orleans Saint. Will Lutz is here. Will Campbell is not here. Will Clapp is here. Not Will Campbell. Will Campbell is probably getting ready for his rookie season in the NFL. Will Campbell lives in New Orleans now because he plays for the Saints. Anyway, awesome day, man. And great to see a lot of folks here. And we're counting down to LSU and Arkansas, 58 minutes away from first pitch. We learned about a half hour ago that Beidel is in fact going to start for Arkansas, and it is now official just about a minute ago or so. LSU's announced that Zach Cowan will take the ball for the Tigers. He pitched in relief in that extra inning game, the 1:17 a.m. game back in May, and went 3 scoreless innings against Arkansas. So we'll see if he's got any magic in that right arm, if he can maybe channel it and get LSU into this ball game. Our buddy Wes Moore covers the Razorbacks, has for a long time. He's good enough to join us here to kind of give us the perspective from Arkansas heading into this game. 103.7 The Buzz and Fox 16 there in Little Rock. Hey, Wes, how are you, man?
It's good, man. Just like you, counting down the minutes until we get this thing started.
When you and I talked after or before LSU and Arkansas played that opener, I'm curious your just the impression of or the vibe around the Razorback baseball program after that Saturday loss to LSU.
Just get through the bracket. That's all it was. You know, we kind of felt like the loser of the Arkansas-LSU game would battle through the bracket, play them again. I always felt like it was going to be a best 2 out of 3 series between Arkansas and LSU, and that's exactly what happened. You know, here you got to get the bats going. You know, facing Cade Anderson's one thing and only scratching out one run, a solo home run. But even the next game against Murray State, you know, that was the Gage Wood no-hitter. Arkansas only scored 3 runs.
Yeah.
They got 10 hits. They got guys on base. They just didn't get that clutch hit to drive in more runs. Last night was much better. They got 10 hits again, 5 walks, 7 runs, and they got those clutch 2-out hits to pad the lead. And so I think the feeling is optimism for Arkansas fans that they're starting to break out a little mini slump. You know, this is a team that led the SEC in hitting. They hit a lot of home runs. They scored a lot of runs. The batting average was the best. But they weren't hitting the ball. And part of it, you know, regional, super regional, College World Series, you have better pitchers. But still, Arkansas wasn't hitting like they had been hitting in the regular season against the SEC team. And there were a couple of key guys that just weren't getting it done. And the feeling is maybe they're turning the corner, and maybe it's at the perfect time.
Wes, what about going into this ball game tonight with Landon Beidelshees on the bump for Arkansas in a win or go home game? Give me a gauge of level of confidence for Arkansas.
Well, you know, we made a lot of who's going to start. It really doesn't matter. This is a bullpen game. If they get 5 innings, they're thrilled. You know, if Beidelshees can go out and get them 12 outs, 15 outs, they'll take that right now.
Sure.
This is about going off, getting off to a good start, scoring some runs, getting a lead, turning the ball game over to the bullpen. And that's where Arkansas has been effective this year, is the bullpen. And we saw that in a lot of Beidelshees' starts. You know, this is a guy that I think the most he went this year was 6 innings, I think, against Charlotte. For the most part, he's a 4-inning, 5-inning type guy. Get it to the bullpen on a Sunday. And that's the way they treat. He had a short leash all year long, and I expect him to have a very short leash tonight. If he doesn't go out and get it done in the first or second inning, you could see another situation like Zach Root the first time against LSU. They'll go out and get him because the bullpen's rested. They're ready to go.
Bullpen's rested, ready to go, and it's a winner. Your season is over. Like, you don't have time to allow someone to work their way through somebody's singing here. I don't even know why. I don't know if you can hear that, Wes, but someone behind me singing. Who are we expecting to see after Beidelshees tonight?
Parker Coyle will be one of them. He is a lefty that's been one of their better bullpen arms. He missed some time during the regular season with a back injury, but he has returned, and he's looked really good. He could be the guy that finishes the game. I wouldn't be surprised. Dylan Carter is a guy who had some success against LSU earlier this season. He is a guy that they can stretch out. He may be the first guy out of the bullpen if Beidelshees struggles because he could come in and give them 3-4 innings. Look, it's all hands on deck. I mean, Gabe Gackle, I don't think they want to use him tonight, but if they need to, they will use him tonight. You could see Christian Fouch, the big guy. He comes in, touches 100. Wouldn't be surprised if we see him tonight. Any lefty, I feel like they may want to mix it up, go left, right, just maybe, use some pinch hitters up. So that's why I think maybe Dylan Carter would be first out of the bullpen, then Parker Coyle, and then maybe Christian Fouch to close this out.
Wes, how much pressure is on Dave Van Horn tonight and this week in Omaha?
I would say Dave puts none on him. All he wants to do, and he said it so many times, he won a national championship at the Division II level, and all he remembers about that is the players' reaction. He says, that's all I want to see. I want to see my players celebrate and winning a national championship. He said, I can retire tomorrow, and I've had a great career. Yes, I never won the last game of the year, but there have been some great coaches that never won the best game of the year. He said, that's not going to affect the way I felt about my career and my coaching. So he's not putting any pressure on himself. The players, they would love to win it for him, but they want to win it for themselves too. So I don't think there's any added pressure. And Van Horn's not one of those guys. He doesn't care. He loves the fan. He loves Arkansas. I mean, he played here. He met his wife here. His grandkids are here. He loves Arkansas, but he's not the type of guy that's worried about what the outside people are saying about him.
How many more bites at the apple does he have?
It was about, I'm trying to think now, 3 years ago, it was like a 10-year contract he signed. And he said at the time, Look, my kids, my girls are grown. They're out of college. They're married. They're having kids. They're out of the house. I got nothing else to do. He said, I love coaching baseball. This is what I love. I love recruiting. I love putting a team together. I love coaching baseball, and I love the game. So what else am I going to do? So I don't think he's anywhere close to, saying this is it. But, you get to a certain age and you just decide one day this is it, and it could be, on the horizon. But I don't think this is a scenario where Van Horn finally wins one and announces a week later that this is it. I would be surprised about that. I just think that competitive fire is still there. And if he wins one, he wants to go back-to-back and try to win another one.
Wes Moore, 103.7 The Buzz, and Fox 16 in Little Rock. Hey, we're all going to say the same thing, right? If asked, what's the key? Pitching's got to be there. But is there a player in particular that you think for Arkansas maybe is one to circle as maybe needing to have a big night for one reason or another?
Babe Aloy. I mean, he's the heartbeat of the team. He had an awesome game last night. If I'm LSU, I'm very, very careful to him. If there's a scenario, I have no idea why they pitched to him last night with the first base open. The first time around, he hit a home run. No, he hit a triple. And the second time around, he came up with the base, with the runner on. They walked him. Now, what LSU knows is Logan Maxwell came up next and hit a double into the gap and scored both runs. And so that's the thing about the Arkansas lineup. They feel like they're so deep. Yeah, that's fine. You want to walk him. Someone else is going to make him pay. And Maxwell had not been hitting well. He went left center last night. He went opposite field, so maybe he's breaking out of his slump. Helfrich's got to get going. The catcher, he came into the World Series on a tear. He has not hit the ball well in the College World Series. But I don't. But Bahebo Lloyd's a guy that can literally carry a team. He's kind of like Fry. He's kind of like a Bear Jones. He can carry a team. Now, if I'm LSU, I'm very careful and I don't let him beat me. But sometimes you don't have a choice.
LSU and Arkansas, we're inside of an hour away from first pitch. He is Wes Moore. Wes, we always appreciate it, man. Thanks for jumping aboard. Enjoy the game tonight.
See you, man. Later.
We appreciate it. It's after further review. We are here at Bayou Oaks for the Mackel Celebrity Scramble in New Orleans. They're going through awards right now. I'm sitting right next to the podium talk. Can you hear me talking? I know you have headphones on. I'm curious if everybody else who's listening to this can hear me talk. I don't know. All right, let's do this. We'll knock out a quick break. Maybe they'll be done with awards by the time we come back. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Duplessis Builders, duplessisbuilders.net, duplessisbuilders.net. I got to share the amazing news with you at the beginning of this week that Duplessis Builders has been named one of the top 50 pool builders in the country from one of the industry trade magazines. They did a top 50 list of the top 50 pool builders in America, and Duplessis Builders right here in Baton Rouge, number 26 on that list. It's an incredible honor. So it's incredible validation of the things that I tell you. Derek Duplessis, a local guy, engineer by trade, puts so much time and effort not only into the quality of the work that he builds, but also the quality of the customer service and the experience you're going to have taking the time to explain the build out and all of the service you're going to get throughout the process. If you've heard of people having nightmare builds through their pool, their outdoor kitchen, do it right with one of the top 50 pool companies in the country. DuplessisBuilders.net.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
One thing I always tell the players is everything is training for something. And, you know, we are in a similar situation in the regional, and a team played very good, you know, and whoever we're playing next is fighting for their season. And so you have to bring the same type of intensity, you know, to counterbalance, you know, that focus and that motivation of that team. And I thought we did an excellent job of that in the super regional last week, and I think we've done an excellent job of it here. I think it's not just winning to us, it's how we win and how we get better at this craft of trying to be one of the elite college baseball teams in the country. And my message to them will just be to use their experience well.
Jay Johnson looking to avoid the winner-take-all game on Thursday. Tigers can punch their ticket to the championship series with a win tonight against a very familiar foe. This will be the fifth time LSU and Arkansas will have locked up here in 2025. The Tigers are 3-1 against the Razorbacks. The only Arkansas win, of course, was that Sunday game at the box on Mother's Day where the Tigers had an early lead. The bullpen faltered, and then Arkansas was able to scratch one out. But Tigers won a close game in Game 1 when Anderson beat Root. Game 2 at the box, LSU run-ruled Arkansas. That was when they really roughed up Gage Wood, who threw a no-hitter in Omaha. Tigers lost Game 3, as you mentioned, then behind Anderson, again, won for Saturday at the College World Series. See what happens here on what amounts to a bullpen day for both. It's the matchup we thought we'd see. It is Battle Shees. I think Wes was saying Battle Shees, but for Arkansas and Zach Cowan for LSU. And when you look at how Zach Cowan has performed this year, you know, it's so interesting when I think back to it. We talked to Zach whenever he committed, transferring in from Wofford. You know, he was the Friday guy for Wofford a year ago. I mean, he was outstanding. He started 17 games. He was 10-2 as a starter. He had a 3.35 ERA. He struck out 124 batters. I mean, he had 124 strikeouts in 110 innings pitched a season ago at Wofford. The point being, like, Zach Cowan has the ability to extend, to be a starter. Now, I understand it's different when you're talking about Wofford, which I believe is the SoCon, and when you're talking about trying to pitch in the SEC, where maybe the second time through a lineup, it's a little difficult when they've seen you. But it's very easy when you look at Zach Cowan to know when he's gotten in trouble what the bugaboo has been. And it's the need for him to pitch ahead. And, you know, when Zach Cowan has gotten in trouble, he's gotten in trouble with walks. And we saw it against Little Rock when he walked 2 in that first inning that he worked. In the inning and 2/3 against South Carolina, he issued a walk, gave up 3 hits, but you're working from behind. I mean, that's where Zach Cowan needs to be really on point. So, the game against Arkansas that he pitched when LSU won 5-4, he pitched in relief of the game that LSU won at 1:17 a.m. on the Fry sac fly that scored Jones. He went 3 innings, no runs on just 2 hits. In that game, he struck out 3, and he did walk 2 in those 3 innings. So for Cowan, it's about throwing strikes. And I know that sounds super simplistic, but if you're going to throw 91 or 92, and they know 91 or 92 is coming and you got to throw it over the plate, you're going to get roughed up by good hitters. And Arkansas is a good offense. I mean, they've led the SEC in hitting this year for a reason. And they can hit 1 through 9, and they've shown it at times this year, and they showed it against UCLA a night ago. So really imperative for Zach Cowan. You just can't give him base runners, man. The other thing that's interesting here is now the lineup is posted. There is a change. Now, of course, we all anticipated Josh Pearson was going to be in the lineup because they're throwing Battle Cheese, who's a lefty, and this is what Jay Johnson does. He sits Jake Brown and puts Josh Pearson in the lineup. We don't need to get into it. You know how I feel about it. Jake Brown is your most athletic player. He's got elite speed. He's an elite glove, and he's hitting the ball all over the yard in the College World Series. Just because you're facing a lefty doesn't mean you take one of your best hitters out of the lineup, but that's what Jay Johnson's going to do. It's what he's been doing. We're all expecting it. The difference here is what we had seen the last few outings is with Josh Pearson going in against a lefty, he had gone to the top of the lineup. That is not what they are doing tonight. And thank God. There is such a thing as outthinking the room. Like, it is possible to outdo that. It is possible to do that. Derek Curiel has led your team in on-base percentage. He is your best bat handler on the team. He can hit to all fields. It doesn't matter if it's lefty-righty, what style of pitch you're seeing. Derek Curiel gets on base. You want your table setters getting on base for your run producers. So Curiel, I've said it many times, there's no reality, none. There's no reality where Derek Curiel would be batting 6th or 7th in my lineup. He has got to be at the top of your Todd. Don't take my word for it. I'm just a bald idiot doing a radio show. I'm stupid. Don't listen to me. How about Todd Walker, whose number is literally retired at LSU, was with us in hour number 1 and said the exact same thing, that Curiel would be at the top of the lineup, and that's exactly where he is, where he needs to be. So they'll go Curiel, Fry, Milam, and I love that. The decision to put Milam in the 3-hole, I think, has worked exceptionally well. Now, one thing worth watching here is against Battle Cheese, that does turn Milam around to the right side, and he is hitting at a higher clip from the left side than the right side. And I did a video today with Terrio over at the Parish Construction and Roofing office where he talked about Milam, and he talked about hitting from the left side and how he's controlled his top hand, meaning his left hand when he's batting from the left side. And he's kept the bat flat through the zone instead of angling it, which is why you've seen a lot of the lazy fly balls. And it's imperative in this ball game, especially early when he faces Battle Cheese, who's going to turn him around to the right side, that top hand, his right hand, stays steady. Go! If you don't listen to my explanation, go watch the video. It's a video on the Parish Construction Roofing socials on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You'll see it there. It's Terrio talking about this. It's brilliant. I mean, Terrio, for all we goof off, is brilliant when it comes to talking baseball and certainly talking hitting. It did a great job explaining it. But I love all that to say. I love Milam tonight batting in the 3-hole. So Curiel, Fry, Milam. Hernandez batting cleanup, of course, with Brown not in the lineup. Hernandez batting cleanup, followed by Jones, who will stay in the 5-hole, and then Josh Pearson batting 6. And then the bottom third, there is a shakeup here as well. Stanfield bats 7th, followed by Dickinson and Braswell. So a little bit of a change here, but Curiel, Fry, Milam, Hernandez, Jones, Pearson. It is worth mentioning that Milam and Hernandez batting 3-4, those are the two guys that homered off of Battle Cheese in the game against Arkansas on that Sunday at Alex Box Stadium. So those two guys that homered off of this pitcher at the box, are batting 3-4. So maybe an opportunity to get some early run production with the way that they've structured this, and it keeps Jared Jones in the 5-hole where he's certainly been more comfortable. So Curiel, Fry, Milam, Hernandez, Jones, Josh Pearson, and then Stanfield, Dickinson, Braswell. One other thing I'll tell you that I would like to see tonight, I would like to see Dickinson battle a little more. And even if you're not hitting, because hitting is hard, and sometimes you go through it a little bit. And I would say that's certainly been the case here in this postseason for Dickinson. Dickinson got a knock, an RBI. Now it was a little flare off the end of the bat. And sometimes you just need something good to happen in baseball to start things going in the right direction for you. And so maybe that was that instant for Daniel Dickinson. But when you look at how it's gone for him, he was 0 for 4 against Little Rock, in the final game against Little Rock, 0 for 2 against West Virginia with a couple of walks, 0 for 5 in the second game against West Virginia. He was 1 for 4 in the game against Arkansas, 1 for 4 in the game against UCLA. Again, that one was the little flare. But I would really like to see Dickinson have some really, really tough competitive at-bats where you're not making it easy on the pitcher. Battle, foul him off, and even if he gets you out, it's like this is one thing I'll give Michael Braswell credit for. And Braswell is a 200 hitter. I can look up his stats exactly where he is right now. But when you watch Michael Braswell, it hasn't gone great for him offensively this year. It's one of the more perplexing things. He was a .310 hitter in conference play last year, and right now Michael Braswell is batting. He is at 193. Michael Braswell is an out. There's no nice way to say it. He's an out. He's an out. But he's a really good glove defensively at third base, but he's an out. But the thing that you have got to give him credit for is he will make a pitcher work. He will take pitches. He will foul off pitches. He will give you a competitive at bat, even if it's not producing positive results. And if nothing else, sometimes making a guy work like that will make it easier for another guy down the line. When he has to go through a 7, 8, 9 pitch at bat, maybe he's going to try to cut a corner and groove one to somebody and get a cheap out. And maybe that sets up the rest of your guys who turn the lineup over. Just something to watch tonight there. Dickinson and Braswell have certainly been fighting it, but Braswell has had tough ABs. I'd love to see that from Dickinson in this ballgame tonight. At least make it tough on whoever's pitching for the Hogs. So again, it'll be Landon Battlecheese against Zach Cowan. A bullpen day for both of these teams as they head into this ballgame. Lots of bullpen arms available for both squads and both coaches available. Really feels like it's going to be a matter of which offense gets going and puts their coach in an advantageous position to make their decisions of what they're going to do with their staff the rest of the night. All right, we're brought to you by Supper Club. They are open right now over at Supper Club. You want to pop on in as you head home from work. Maybe you're thinking about the weekend already. You can plan your reservations at supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com for Supper Club. They're right there on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge. And Chef Layton is always thinking of creative ways to continue to innovate the menu. Maybe it's one of those things where you feel like you've gone to Supper Club and you've tried everything on the menu. I feel like I've tried everything on the menu at this point. It's amazing every time I go. But he's always looking at different ways to add new and creative menu items for you to try, to bring new things, the best quality things to Baton Rouge. For example, on Tuesdays and Fridays is when they're serving bison on the menu. And these are bison ribeyes and fillets. It is some of the best meat you will ever eat, and it's only at Supper Club. So check it out, supperclubbtr.com for your reservation, supperclubbtr.com. Remember, open seating at the bar always. You don't need a reservation if you want to walk into Supper Club, belly up to the bar, have a glass of wine, a cocktail, close some business, maybe eat dinner there at the bar. It's Supper Club. supperclubbtr.com. Okay, y'all, it's after further review. Our Hump Day shows are brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. We are here at Bayou Oaks in New Orleans for the Mackel Celebrity Scramble. Been a really cool day, man. Appreciate very much Fletcher and Travers for inviting us out. If you were listening or watching, you saw all the festivities behind us. The golf event is done, and they just did the award presentation. This event is a fundraiser with the help of the 4 Kids Foundation to provide scholarships to 4 young people going to college, 2 of them in conjunction with Folds of Honor, so children of military veterans who were killed or wounded in the line of duty. in action, and then 2 awarded to 2 young people through the First Tee Foundation for junior golfers in the city. So an awesome, and it's scholarships for these young people that are going to college next year. So an awesome event to be a part of, and if you want to play in the event next year, to be a part of the Scramble, or you want to sponsor the event, we certainly would encourage you to do that and get in touch. And go to themackel.com. I think I had that website right. You can find it, but it's through the 4Kids Foundation, but they also have the Mackel, I believe, which is the name of the tournament. Yes, it is the Mackel, Mackel.com, themackel.com, and just hit the Celebrity Scramble tab, and you'll see all the info right there. All right, let me knock out a quick break, y'all. We will continue here. Otter will be here in about 15 minutes for Otter Locks as we wind down and count down to first pitch with LSU and Arkansas, with a trip to the championship series on the line. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
For as long as this LSU baseball team has been marching toward Omaha, our friends at Action Industries have been marching with them locked in step. Action Industries, a proud partner of LSU athletics all season long. They've sponsored the mound visits at the box, so whether you've been at the box, you've been listening to the games, if you're listening to the game tonight, you'll hear every mound visit presented by our friends over at Action Industries, an amazing industrial contractor, and one of the things that's so impressive, as I always tell you, they know who they are. There are some massive industrial contractors that do these $200 million jobs, and that's amazing, but that's not what Action Industries is. They don't want to bid on that job. As a matter of fact, if you have one of those jobs and you need to supplement your workforce, they can help you there. What they are is a company that specializes in that 100-person job. If you feel like you've hired one of these giant industrial contractors for your 100-person job and you haven't gotten their best, talk to Action Industries. Action, INDINC.com for Action Industries Incorporated, proud partner of LSU Athletics.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website. LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net. Powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
For the review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Continuing along here from Bayou Oaks, the Mackel Celebrity Scramble, counting down to LSU and Arkansas from the College World Series. Every year we get a chance to talk to Steve Worthy over at the Zurich Classic, who, of course, puts on that phenomenal event. And as we've learned, that the Four Kids Foundation actually helps put on this event as well. It's great to see you, sir. How are you?
Yeah, always great. Had a great day.
Usually it's just April, right? You and I get to visit a little bit, but why not here in June as well? Tell me a little bit about how Four Kids became involved with the Mackel Celebrity Scramble.
Well, we started the Mackel Championship, really the Metro Amateur Championship. Frank Mackel, Fletcher and Travers's dad, was a Four Kids Foundation member, was a tournament chairman. The tournament had been around for a long time, but was struggling a little bit, and they came to us and asked if we would step in and help lift it up. That's been about 8 years, and the event has done very well. It's been a lot of fun, and last year was the first year we added the celebrity component, and everybody had a great time. Again today, edition, the scholarships we did today, the number of people that just mentioned to me, it just gives it another sense of purpose. So it was a great day, and it's been a fun event.
I mean, 4 young people each awarded a $5,000 scholarship. It was $20,000 they gave away today. You all gave away today in conjunction with this event, which is such a cool thing to do. I mean, it's obviously just, and we've gotten to know each other a little bit, but it's very purpose-driven with 4 Kids, which I think it's like children or the military. It's like people are always unanimously going to support how they can. And I mean, this is a big deal for sure.
No question. Yeah. It's easy. I mean, people can get behind that. And the tournament, 4 Kids, obviously all our money goes to children's charities. We've had really nice success and nice growth with the Zurich Classic. And, we've gotten bigger and bigger in Baton Rouge. And so, just one more step that kind of continues kind of what we do.
As people hear more about the Four Kids Foundation, and obviously you're already starting to plan for next year's Zurich Classic. I think that's probably just a continuous loop, right? I mean,
pretty much.
The day it ends, maybe you take one day off to breathe, and then it's just get ready for next year. So where are you in that process right now?
We've done all our committee critiques and talked about what went well, what we need to work on, little tweaks and adjustments. How do we get bigger, different, interesting ideas, and already starting to work on players for next year. So
I believe,
that's nonstop.
Recruitment is a giant thing, a giant part of your job, right?
No question.
I mean, what do you do? You're just constantly flying around talking to these players and see if they'll make their way down?
Yeah, I try to get to a few tournaments here and there. I'll thank guys who've been who were here this year and push those who weren't. Stay in touch with the agents, with players. Player plays well. I'm texting them, and at the U.S. Open, several guys who played well. I'm reaching out and making sure they're thinking about us. It's just kind of nonstop. I mean, the team thing has certainly, as we lead into a Ryder Cup year, already talking to the President's Cup folks because next year with the President's Cup year. So, kind of trying to keep that top of mind. I mean, Rory and Shane, it showed how much they love team golf.
Yeah.
And the more we can get everybody else to buy into that, the people who've played Ryder Cup and President's Cup is just huge for us, and continue to try to keep that top of mind.
They loved it. Fans love it too.
100%.
That's very obvious when you go out to the event. For people that hear us talk about the Four Kids Foundation, the Zurich Classic, who want to get involved or maybe interested in learning more about your foundation or how they can get involved, what do they do?
ZurichGolfClassic.com. We have members. We have Baton Rouge members. Gordy. Gordy's been on our board for 9 years. They can get involved as a member if they want. All of the, we don't have all of our pricing and everything up yet, but they can see products that are available for next year and just learn more about the tournament, where the money goes, all that sort of thing.
ZurichGolfClassic.com. You can find out more information there. It was a pleasant surprise to get to talk to you today, man. It's usually in April, but thank you for stopping by. We appreciate it.
Thank you. All I'll do is complain that you're not on in New Orleans, but hopefully we're going to fix that soon.
Steve, honest to goodness, true story. I'm in Logan International Airport on Sunday, flying back from Boston. Went up to go watch Yankees Red Sox. A guy walks up to me and goes, "Scone, when are you going to be back on in New Orleans?" I'm like, I'm in Boston and I have a guy asking me that. Like, we know, and we have been working on it for.
I know.
Oh, man, have we been working on it. But if anybody in New Orleans who owns a radio station or would like to have us on in New Orleans, we would love to engage in those conversations. I feel like we've talked to all of you at this point. But come on. Like, Steve Worthy wants it. Let's do this thing.
100%.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. Steve Worthy is joining us here. Let me remind you about First South Farm Credit. Thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. FirstSouthLand.com. FirstSouthLand.com. You know, people who often buy land are people who already own land. So maybe that's you and you're thinking of buying more land, different land. You could take equity that you currently have in your property, roll it into that new piece of property you're looking to buy. Or maybe you've always, like, this is the time of year, man. Like, this is, if you want to buy that hunting property, like, this is the time. You don't start that process in the fall. You do it now. So you're thinking, man, you remember at the end of last season, you're tired of sharing that lease with other people. Someone else got the big buck. Own your own. They can help. FirstSouthLand.com, FirstSouthLand.com for First South Farm Credit, FirstSouthLand.com. All right, we are 20 minutes away from first pitch. LSU and Arkansas from the College World Series. Tigers win. They advance to the championship series against Coastal Carolina. Coastal with no issues whatsoever today against Louisville. For those who caught that game, it was a 2-0 lead in the first. It was a 6-0 lead in the second. 11-3 is the final. So Coastal Carolina, their 26th consecutive win, and Coastal is off to the championship series. And my goodness, the drama that would unfold in the storylines, if in fact it is LSU against Coastal when you start to play this out. Of course, Coastal has been to the College World Series one time, and they won it in 2016. They beat LSU in the Baton Rouge Super Regional, as you might remember, but they went to Omaha and beat Arizona in the championship series coached by Jay Johnson, who was in his first year coaching Arizona back in 2016. So what a storyline that would be if LSU and Jay Johnson each get a crack at Coastal Carolina in the championship series. A little redemption for both the Tigers and the new head Tiger from 2016. But first, the Tigers have to scratch out a win against Arkansas either tonight or tomorrow. But the hope is that it doesn't come down to Thursday and that LSU takes care of business tonight. The Tigers, if you're wondering, are a slight underdog. I'll look at the updated line, but the last I saw, Arkansas was minus $1.30 in this game tonight. And that probably makes sense. I will get Jimmy here in just a second to do auto locks, and I do understand why Arkansas would be a slight favorite in this game. It's up to $1.45. So you're actually getting really good value right now in LSU at plus $1.14 if you want to make that play. As that number's continued to go up since the starters have been announced. And as we've kind of played through the arms that Arkansas has available, Coyle, Carter, Gackel, Fouch, all behind Battle Sheets. I mean, there's they've got arms. They've got a depth of arms. LSU has numbers as well. Like, neither team is going to run out of pitching in this ball game, but I think the slight difference here is there is a degree of desperation from Arkansas, an all-in sort of mentality. If Battle Sheets struggles out the gate, like, they'll go to the next guy, and that could be Gabe Gackel at some point. The only way I could see Jay Johnson in this game going, say, to Anthony Ianson, I mean, we've talked about it earlier with Todd Walker. I mean, we've all said, I think we all agree. The only way you see that unfold is if LSU's winning the game with the finish line in sight and you give the ball to Ianson and say, get me home. And if that's the case, fantastic. Then you win tonight, and you have Thursday, Friday off. Ianson also wouldn't pitch Saturday. That would be Anderson. Then Ianson would go on Sunday, 3 days after a relief outing, and he'd be ready to go and extend fully. So I could see that unfolding, but LSU would have to have a lead late in the game to get to that decision. For Arkansas, it's desperation in the same way that it was a day ago why Dave Van Horn gave the ball to Zach Root, when no doubt he would prefer to have saved Zach Root for today, but today doesn't matter if you didn't win yesterday, and Thursday doesn't matter if they don't win today. So just the desperation from Arkansas probably puts them in a different mindset to be a little more aggressive to go win this game. So I'm not surprised Arkansas is the favorite. We'll see if LSU can get the bats going early and often in what's going to be a bullpen day. And here's hoping we see the good Zach Cowan. That was so good for such a giant chunk of this season that here of late has struggled to find himself. But we're great to see Zach Cowan rise up big time on a big stage here with an opportunity to punch LSU's ticket to the championship series. Okay, it's After Further Review, brought to you by South Point Volkswagen and SouthPointVW.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at SouthPointVW.com, SouthPointVW.com. Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. If you're thinking of buying a vehicle, put Volkswagen on your list. Remember all the different IIHS top safety picks. It's the highest safety designation. I cannot begin to describe to you the peace of mind I get literally every day when I put Drew in his car seat to drive him to school, and he's in his car seat, and I'm driving a Volkswagen Atlas Crossport. Every day when Erica pulls out of the driveway and she's in her Volkswagen Atlas, tremendous peace of mind knowing she's in one of the safest vehicles on the road. We are a Volkswagen family. I could not encourage you more to, if nothing else, test drive one, shop one, see what Volkswagen has to offer. And South Point Volkswagen is Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. SouthPointVW.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? Okay, final break of the show. We'll come back. Jimmy will be here for Otterlocks. Otterlocks are already posted over at LouisianaSports.net if you want to get them for free. Final break. We'll be back to wrap up next here from Bayou Oaks, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness.
AFR.
Man, oh man. Especially after the rain on a hot, humid day, it becomes even more miserable outside. Now imagine that feeling, and we all know it because we've all been in that situation after storms when the power's out, when your AC isn't working. What do you want to do? You going to wait a day? You going to wait 2 days? Oh, we can get to you in 3 days, 4 days, and then they don't have the part. And what are you going to do? No AC in your home for a week? No, thank you. How about you get it fixed today? Done right the first time. Call River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001. They're always on time or you don't pay a dime, and they work nights, holidays, weekends, so they'll always come out nights, holidays, and weekends. Your AC isn't working? That's a problem, y'all. Call the best, get it done right the first time. River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Hump Day edition of AFR. Jimmy will be here for Otter Locks in just a quick second. Kind of keeping an eye on ESPN as we see Kyle Peterson, Chris Burke, and Carl Ravitch in the booth for the night tonight. Looks like they'll be on the call tonight. That'll be good. Eduardo Perez looks like he gives up his chair tonight for Chris Burke. I know it's always a conversation about putting the MLB guys on the college broadcast, and I get it. I think the thing that I would say is, remember, most people that are going to be watching the College World Series aren't necessarily diehard college baseball fans. They're people that are finding it, and they're familiar with guys like Carl Ravitch and Eduardo Perez and guys like that. But yes, it is difficult watching an LSU game on ESPN at the College World Series where Carl Ravitch struggles with Stephen Milam's name. I mean, that's kind of a problem. But anyway, it's what it is. I'm grateful that the event's awesome and we get to watch it tonight. And first pitch coming up here in a little more than 10 minutes from right now. All right, let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Otter, how are you?
Doing great, man. Getting ready for some action tonight, buddy.
I know a lot of people are looking at this line, seeing Arkansas as a favorite, a growing favorite now at $1.45. What do you make of that?
They came in as, heck, if they were favored on Saturday night against Anderson, I guess they'd be favored in this spot. I do think the disadvantage has sort of been neutralized for this game as far as Arkansas because they get the complete game, no hitter, and then they were 2 outs away from another shutout. So it's this game. Now, if LSU goes tomorrow, that's where they'll pay off with, coming with Anderson. But the market is on Arkansas here. They bet them, and that line, the majority was on Arkansas Saturday night against Anderson. I'm not surprised. I'm surprised it's grown a little bit, though, Matt. But I do think that that Arkansas is getting more and more comfortable at the plate. I think they're going to be a tough out. I'm not laying that juice, but I am going to take the over. 4 straight overs now. Although it was in the last 2 at bats in the last, the 1 o'clock, 6 o'clock game last night. But the wind is blowing out to right center, and that's it. Because come this weekend, it's blowing in 20 to 30 mile per hour gusts.
Oh, geez.
It's going to be yes, and the ball is carrying as well. Pitching is compromised, obviously. Our play is on the over tonight, but yeah, it's going to be blowing in hard from right center, for this weekend. I got another total. Devers and gang, San Francisco, they had guys all over the bases last night. A little bit of a nice addition to that lineup, but the pitching, Verlander over he's past his prime for San Francisco. For the Guardians too, Logan Allen. We're going over 8 in that game tonight in San Francisco. Toronto is just getting ready to throw first pitch. They stole it last night with 2 solo shots to tie it and win the game in a walk-off against Arizona last night. I'm looking for them to come back and win again at a very short price. Favorable pitching matchup at home. We're going to take the Blue Jays. And then finally, I'm trying to remember the last one we to hunt here. It is going to be the Astros. Astros in a run line. on the road in a hitting-friendly park. Big pitching advantage for Framber Valdez, the Astros. Astros minus 1.5.
All right, so the Blue Jays, the Giants and Guardians over 8, and the Astros on the run line, and then the LSU Arkansas over. Where are you tomorrow, Otter?
So, we're at the original walk-on so hopefully we'll be knocking out a bunch of Jello shots when we get off the air at 1 o'clock.
Knocking out Jello shots and not previewing a game. Hopefully we are not previewing a Thursday game. Let's see if the Tigers will take care of business.
I'm sure but this is huge, to have Anderson at full rest because Coastal's got Morrison ready to go.
Yeah.
And I think he will probably start the second game on Sunday because, remember, he pitched Sunday night against Oregon State. So, but these are the best 3 teams in this tournament, these are say now, but Coastal's legit. Arkansas and LSU are cut above the rest of the field as well.
Otter, we appreciate it. Have a great night.
Good luck, Matt.
Thanks, you too. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center. Jimmy's a Williamson Eye Center patient, as am I. Dr. Blake Williamson, he's the best. If you're thinking about LASIK, you're thinking about PRK, custom lens replacement, EVO ICL, that's the implantable contact lens. That's an alternative to LASIK. Maybe you're not even familiar with that. LASIK literally changes the shape of your eye. The ICL is they implant a contact lens in your eye. It's a completely reversible procedure. The point is you have options, and Dr. Blake Williamson is simply the best when it comes to ophthalmology. He goes all over the world lecturing and teaching because he has brought world-renowned practices to Baton Rouge. It's the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020, 924-2020, 924-2020. If you want to see 2020, call 924-2020 to set up that consultation or go to williamsoneye.com. All right, just about going to do it for us here on this Wednesday edition of AFR from Bayou Oaks here in New Orleans for the Mackel Celebrity Scramble. It's been a great day. We appreciate Fletcher and Travers for inviting us down. Alondra, great job on site. Muso and Paulie back in studio. I appreciate y'all as well for being there. Go Tigers, see if LSU can get this one done. We'll be back tomorrow in studio at 3. See you then.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, remind you about Parish Restoration, kill mold, remove odor, parishrestoration.com. If you have water intrusion at your home, your office, chances are you have mold as well, because when something gets wet and then it's hot and humid, that's a breeding ground for mold. You could certainly call Parish Restoration, and they'll knock it out. It is more cost-effective. It is more efficient. parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com. That's the website. You can schedule your consultation to learn more about it. But when we talk about Parish Restoration, they'll kill mold. It'll remove odor, other harmful pathogens. It doesn't matter if it's in your vehicle, if it's your home, if it's the largest commercial building in the state of Louisiana. Parish Restoration can knock it all out more efficiently, more cost-effectively. You're not cutting sheetrock, pulling carpet. It's a dry fog. It's not getting things wet in the home or the building. It's Parish Restoration. Learn more online or schedule that service at parishrestoration.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.